and a full artificial intelligence would spell the end of the human race.
It's a flying object and we don't know what it is. I would hope somebody is checking it out.
With the rockets or whatever, but incredibly fast, opposite direction. They were too fast to be an airplane.
I'm glad the Pentagon is looking at this, because if it poses a threat, I want them on top of it.
Well, the craft generates its own gravitational field.
You said there's lights in the sky?
The internet has become the command center for criminals and terrorists.
911, what's your emergency? I need help, please help me!
Aliens won't let it happen. You know, that's what we're instructed to say.
Roswell, Area 51. Alien kept deep under the ground.
1 0 1 1 1 0 1 1 6 3 2 9 7.
Media doesn't have your best interest in mind. The government is self-serving. You're here for a reason. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. Broadcasting live from a secret bunker just off the extraterrestrial highway. Somewhere in the desert sands outside of Las Vegas. From somewhere in space-time, loosely labeled Generation X on planet Earth. And asking questions of you in earnest into the digital darkness. Good evening and welcome to Troubled Minds Radio. I am your host, Michael Strange. I am here with your co-host, Frank Pierce. And we would like to say hello to all of you who might also have troubled minds. What's up, guys? It is Sunday night, and the show is live. If you want to be part of the show tonight, the number to call, of course, 702-957-1037. You can find that phone number on troubledminds.org. You can also find the Discord link, and you can join the show that way as well. It's completely free. It's a chat client and a voice client, and it's how Frank and I do the show. And if you don't know what it's all about, I suggest you check it out. Pretty good conversation goes on there when we're not doing the show. All right, so lots going on this weekend, most specifically Game of Thrones, which maybe shut down the news cycle. We were just having a chuckle about that. But we found some things. We dug some things out, and we're going to talk about those things. And of course, if you're new and you don't know what those things are, well, the things we like to talk about are the things that they don't like us talking about. And by they, of course, I mean the government, the technocracy, major corporations, you know who they are, academia, the folks that want to pin down the narrative, your narrative, our narrative. But we disagree. We think our own narrative should be our own. And so we make one. So here we are making one. And so we do talk about paranormal, aliens, and conspiracy, of course, and that's what we're here doing. So we're going to do that, and we'll do shout-outs shortly. So we do read chat during the show. So if you want to be part of it, you can join the show that way as well. And we stream on Facebook and YouTube and, hell, I don't know, all over the place. Periscope and Mixer and all kinds of stuff. So if you're watching us, you're on one of those, and I don't need to tell you where to find us because you're already finding us. But okay, so we're going to do some shout-outs and get to the topics at hand. But before we do any of that, of course, first things first, most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, your co-host, Frank Pierce.
Hello, my name is Frank Pierce, and we are back again for another episode of Troubled Minds Radio. And tonight, my mind is very troubled. So many things in the news, so many things being looked over. But that's where the interesting stuff lies, isn't it? It's in the cracks. So we've excavated those cracks and found some interesting stories, and we'll talk about them tonight. As always, your participation is welcome. Please do join the Discord. You can find the link on the website. Get in there, talk with us. We're chatting about aliens and UFOs and witches late in the... It's a fun time. Yeah, let's get into it. Let's start talking about all this kind of stuff. And if you have input, news stories, please send it in, and we'll talk about that too.
There you go. All right. So we do take suggestions on the fly. So if you want to call in and say, hey, have you guys heard about this? We do that. So we are open to that. But before we get to any of that and to the topics, let's do some shout outs. What's up, Fred and Todd? Fred gets first on Facebook. He says, good evening, all. What's happening? We got Rolf. We got Sam. Greetings. Kat's here. Christopher, Patrick, Benjamin. We got lots of top fans with diamonds now. You guys are top fans. We appreciate that a lot. Let's see who else we got. Thomas is here. Benjamin, how was your weekend? So far, so good. It ain't over yet. You can't take it from me yet. Tim, what's happening, buddy? Thanks for showing up. Dale, yippee. What's happening, my man? We got Carlos. We got another Michael. We got, Christopher, Colin. Good morning. Good evening. Joe, what's happening? Chad, so many folks. Thanks for being here, guys. Joshua, the government trying to knock me down, but they can't find my location. J Swoop. I don't know what that means, but Joshua, you're the man. Thanks for being here. And Sergio, Carl, and let's see. I think that sums it up. And then we got on Restream Chat here, which is Facebook, or YouTube and everything else. We got Noble Cal L, which is of course our local Superman that's hosting us on Mixer. Thank you again for that. And we have Shadows of the Moon on YouTube. So what's happening? You guys get first in those particular places, and here we go. What are we talking about, Frank? What's got your mind troubled tonight?
So we got a wild gambit of topics going left and right here. Let's do some news updates first, though. Clear this out of the way. Open up the dailymail.co.uk. How Britain, Ecuador, and the US plotted for 6 months to have Julian Assange arrested. So we got to talk about this because this is still very important. Everyone's hating on Julian Assange now. All the media is attacking him over and over and over again. And he's a real journalist. He's releasing real information. But all these journalists out there are publishing hit piece after hit piece after hit piece on this guy. Now, this story here, this is pretty important because it lines up with something we said last episode. This wasn't a spur-of-the-moment thing, right? They were plotting for 6 months to have this guy arrested in secret. So what do you think about this? And then let's tie it into that loan that Ecuador got fortuitously, suspiciously. I think they were paid off.
And recently. Recently, yeah. So this is actually one that Frank dropped in Discord last night, guys. So if you are in the Discord and if you join the Discord, you actually have a little sneak preview and maybe you could have chimed in on what you thought about this. But yeah, there was a mysterious loan from was the INF? Who was that from, Frank?
Yeah, the International Monetary Fund, headquartered in Washington, D.C. of all places, gave Ecuador a $4.2 billion loan to kickstart their economy, help them out. And that was in March. And yet, this article here is very clearly demonstrating that Ecuador, the U.S., and the U.K. were plotting for 6 months ahead of that time. So, I don't know. This is proof to me. This is real solid proof that this whole thing's a setup. You know, Ecuador wanted money. They got it. The UK wanted them out of the country. They got it. And the US wanted them extradited to America to face charges. And we're getting it. So this is ridiculous. More people have to be talking about this. No one is. It kind of slipped right out of the news. But this guy, we have some WikiLeaks tonight talking about a base on the moon. Can you believe that?
Do we?
What are we going to do now? Yeah, we do. What are we going to do now without WikiLeaks? I mean, they talk about bases on the moon. They talk about psychics. They talk about political topics. That was our inside line into this information of WikiLeaks. And I'm extremely disappointed in this whole scenario and how people are covering it too. It really shows, it really does show, if people are coming out against Assange and you're reading the news, listening to your favorite pundit, if they're coming out against Assange, I think it speaks to their larger motives, their larger issues. And so many people who I kind of respected are saying Assange is a spy, he should be arrested, he should be tried for treason. He's not even an American citizen. How can you try him for treason? Oh, this story, we're going to keep covering it because this is a horrible miscarriage of...
I think at least that we'll see. I'm actually a little bit split on what's going to happen to this guy. I think just because they let one president, you might have heard of him, named Barack Obama. He actually commuted the sentence of Bradley Manning, which is now known as Chelsea Manning, and was complicit in this WikiLeaks thing and supposedly helped Julian Assange here. So if they commuted a sentence to this guy, I don't think that the United States thinks these crimes are maybe too bad. Let's see how this shakes out. Hopefully the guy's got good lawyers, and yeah, I mean, it's terrible, of course, because like we said, there wouldn't be this big trust factor with the government if the government most of the time told the truth, right? There just wouldn't be. Well, there's a big problem there because they constantly change their stories. They constantly tell you fake stories. They constantly withhold information, and it's tooth and nail to get anything real from them. So I agree with Frank. Guys like this, in the poll last time, actually, I didn't tell you what the poll was, did I, Frank? As it ended, Frank logged off. The music was rolling, and I was like, "Oh shit! I didn't read the poll," so I read the poll. So probably everybody missed it. But if you want to go back to that episode and listen to the last 10 seconds, I read the poll. But it was this: it was 69% of you said that Julian Assange and WikiLeaks is a good thing, and there was 2%, or it was maybe one vote that said they were bad, and the rest said that they are necessary evil. So it's 60-something to 25 or something like that. So yeah, there we go. That's what the poll ended up like. So sorry, Frank, if I didn't tell you that. Are you just catching up, right?
Yeah, that's good to know. I heard a Glenn Greenwald interview with NPR. I don't know if you caught that, but Glenn Greenwald, of course, is the guy who worked with Assange and Snowden and all this kind of stuff. He covers the deep state and all this. He's a pretty good reporter. And they brought him on the NPR, and they're saying, this guy's Assange's partner. He's close friends with Assange, and they were trying to do a character assassination live on air. And he comes out, Greenwald, and he says, I don't know Assange. And he basically tears into NPR for a good 10 minutes. And the guy who was interviewing him couldn't get him off the line fast enough because he was, of course, providing facts, disrupting the whole narrative. It was hilarious. It was the best interview I've seen on this topic in a long time. Yeah, but I don't know. Pay attention to this. This is disgusting. They sold him. They sold this guy like human fucking cattle for $4.2 billion. And we got to keep paying attention to it.
Okay, so if there's that much money involved, maybe I'm wrong and they're going to come after him, throw the book at him. But we'll see. We'll keep an eye on this because it is one of those things that's important. Because again, this is supposed to be whistleblower status, right? So if you're, there's supposed to be, let's say, protection for people that call out corruption in governments. And there's not. There just is not. You see, of course, you can argue it, and these are things for lawyers to argue, blah, blah, blah. We talked about this the first time, but you end up in this situation where, well, okay, if Snowden and Assange and Bradley Manning and these people didn't actually get this information out, we still wouldn't know what was happening, right? And there's a lot of some friendly fire incidents that didn't get reported. There's tons of things that are embarrassing to a government that they don't let us know, right? And so, of course, as an entity, you don't want to release embarrassing stuff about yourself. Duh. But for crying out loud, it's our money. We're contributing, and you're making us look like the assholes by doing it, right? We deserve the transparency, and the world deserves the transparency. Sure, I get it. Sources and methods, all that stuff, right? You don't want to give people up and have them end up murdered because they're a double agent somewhere. I get that. Withhold that, fine. But there's a ton of stuff that they could come out with and we should be talking about. And it's how we get better. We get better by talking about these things and fixing these things and having public outrage about these things. Instead, we cover it up, right? We just blanket it and say, oh, well, no, nothing interesting happened today or this week or this month. And, that's what we're dealing with. So yeah, I think necessary evil is probably, I'm changing my vote. I don't remember what I voted, but yeah. But so with your point there, Frank, the somebody calling in with facts and stuff that change the narrative. Hey, if you guys got facts that change our narrative, call us because that's what we want. Again, that's why we do it live. So we're not afraid of that. We're not afraid of being wrong. And if we are wrong, fine. That's fine, right? We should have a healthy dose of suspicion together and be able to talk about these things, and that's what we're here doing. So do call us if you have if you think we're off track on any of this stuff or have additional information or whatever. Just want to say hi, you know what to do. 702-957-1037. So yeah, there we go. We had a call just a second ago, but they hung up. So if you just called, I saw it, call back and we'll put you on.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll even take that further. I want to be wrong. Some of these topics like MK Ultra, I want to be wrong. I want you to tell me, reassure me. let me rest easily at night that this stuff didn't happen. It's all a hoax. Because some of this stuff is horrifying.
Yeah, I think horrifying's polite. Yeah, that's beyond horrifying. Yeah, okay. But there we go. There's the update on Julian Assange. There was a multi-billion-dollar loan that happened a month prior to this, and it looks like it's been set up for quite some time. So there's your conspiracy there. In the works. So, yeah, okay.
Let's do news update number 2.
All right.
Open up this YouTube video, a TED Talk, how to take a picture of a black hole. And don't play it right away. Let me talk for a bit. This is Katie Bowman, I believe, who the algorithm to make this picture. And I don't know, this whole black hole picture story. If you're not familiar, essentially they took a picture of a black hole. Long story short, something about it is really bothering me. It's itching at my back. Maybe my paranoia is going off the charts here, but something about this story is really making me suspicious. So I started looking into it, looking at all the old histories and stuff, and I found this TED Talk from the person who put this algorithm together. So let's play this for maybe a minute and a half, and then let's unpack it and see what we have to say about it.
Okay, make sure we're all full screen, Dev. Okay, here we go. And I did see some of this as well, so action. We'll talk about this after.
To reconstruct the underlying black hole image. If we had telescopes located everywhere on the globe, in other words, the entire disco ball, this would be trivial. However, we only see a few samples, and for that reason, there are an infinite number of possible images that are perfectly consistent with our telescope measurements. However, not all images are created equal. Some of those images look more like what we think of as images than others. And so my role in helping to take the first image of a black hole is to design algorithms that find the most reasonable image that also fits the telescope measurements. Just as a forensic sketch artist uses limited descriptions to piece together a picture using his knowledge of face structure, the imaging algorithms I develop use our limited telescope data to guide us to a picture that also looks like stuff in our universe. Using these algorithms, we're able to piece together pictures from this sparse, noisy data. So here I show a sample reconstruction done using simulated data where we pretend to point our telescopes to the black hole in the center of our galaxy. Although this is just a simulation, reconstructions such as this give us hope that we'll soon be able to reliably take the first image of a black hole and from it determine the size of its ring. Although I'd love to go on about all the details of this algorithm, luckily for you, I don't have the time.
Okay,
but I'd still like to...
Okay, killed.
Couple of things stood right out there. I don't know if you caught that. And we've talked about this before with NASA and the European Space Agency and how they doctor their images. Color manipulation in every single nebula images. Nebulas are not colorful. They're not bright. There's not vast clouds of green gas punctuated by purple stars and so on and so forth. It's all fake. It's all added color at the end. And they've admitted to that. Not only that, though, you look at Mars, they're changing the color. Sometimes it's red, sometimes it's not. Sometimes there's a blue sky on Mars. And yet they never keep it consistent. And they cover things up too. They airbrush things out. But this is interesting because they basically just admitted, and it seems a little sciencey, but they admitted that they took a bunch of pictures, discarded the ones that didn't look right, and picked all the ones that they thought looked right, mashed them together, and then got this image. Is that science? Is that good? They're essentially saying, we know what a black hole looks like already, so we'll only take pictures that conform to what we think. I don't know if you caught that part.
I did. That's exactly what you said, too. And so not only that, of course, it's pixel by pixel, right? So it would take a human brain forever. So they would have to feed into the algorithm what to look for. So it's the same thing, right? It's the same thing with artificial intelligence we talk about quite often. It's the same thing with, there's a human bias level when you build algorithms, right? This is not actual machine learning. This is biased machines tainted by humans and coded by humans that are creating things. Like I said originally about AI, right? It's one of those things. If you tell AI, okay, and it's supposed to be self-improving at some point, you tell it, all right, so humans are ruining the earth with global warming, right? And then you feed in all the data and tell it, go ahead and figure out how to fix it and let us know, right? Like one of the options it might come up with is to destroy the human race because that would solve global warming, right? So this is the thing where we give it these tainted things, or we actually pre-select what it's going to come out with. I mean, what if a black hole looks nothing like that, right? What if they're like unbelievably not close to that? Like that's of course been like an artist rendition for a very long time, right? So here we are now. We have a confirmed visual of a black hole. Well, it sure seems like maybe a finger painting by a 3-year-old at that point. Like, okay, this is a black hole, make us something, and then we can talk about how we came through it through all these fancy methods. But what she just said is not really, actually taking a picture of it. Yeah, I don't know. Pretty nutty stuff. Weird how we talk ourselves into these things, right?
Yeah. So again, they're not taking a picture of a black hole. They're gathering millions and millions and millions of images and taking what they think looks like a black hole and then mashing that together for this final picture. So there's something not right about that. Because what if a black hole, has a smiley face in the middle? Well, all the pictures so I know this sounds crazy, but bear with me for a minute. What if a black hole does have a smiley face right in the middle? And all the pictures they took that show that smiley face, they're like, that doesn't make any sense. Let's get rid of that. And, they only take the one, don't show that particular feature. So this is just fakery. It's fakery on a massive scale, and everyone's buying into it and loving the entire thing. It's kind of disgusting, actually. Because again, what if a black hole looks, as you said, what if a black hole looks something completely different? So I don't like this trend. And they're doing this for nebula images and space images and Mars and all this. I'm really starting to think that what's out there in the wide universe is nothing like what we're being shown. It's all fake.
Yeah, it definitely seems like it. And you get, here's a scientist kind of admitting that. And I'm sure, given a coaching session, after this debacle, she won't do this again, because you're kind of undermining your entire work. Because that's what this is. Like, okay, here's the image of the black hole. We never got an actual direct image. We just got a bunch of pixelated static. And so we took what we thought would be a black hole from the pixelated static. And so here's the picture of what we thought the black hole would look like. Whoa, why didn't you just draw a picture of what you thought the black hole looked like? It's the same damn thing. It's the same damn thing. I mean, it sounds scientifically different, doesn't it? But it's kind of the same damn thing. We're making these things up and passing this off as science. Yeah, I agree. And I saw also, maybe you saw this, Frank, this young lady in the TED Talks, I didn't catch her name, but she caught a ton of shit. Did you see that? Like, the trolls came out for her. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah,
something about how many lines of code she wrote versus everyone else. I think that was it. I'm not too sure about that whole thing.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, people end up talking trash about people no matter what, and it's fine, whatever. Like, I don't care. I'm not getting involved in that. But it did kind of blow up when, again, right? So we had this Avi Loeb from Harvard, what is it? NASA Harvard thing they have going on there. I forgot what it's called. But he said Oumuamua might be like an alien craft of some sort, right? And so he didn't get as much backlash as she did for this other business. Anyway, it's kind of interesting the way the media shakes out. And I wonder, it makes me wonder and suspicious who's behind some of this stuff, some of the media smears on these people, because, whatever. Anyway, just curious, something to think about. And I don't really have anything smart to say about it. It just makes me suspicious, let's say. And you don't have to be smart to be suspicious, damn it. I mean, case in point, my name's Michael Strange. What's happening? But I don't know. Pretty crazy stuff. Pretty crazy.
Now,
interesting.
The second point I wanted to bring up about this is I posted a picture of the official black hole, the one with the nice reds and yellows in it. And I don't know if you can do this live on air, but compare that image to the image she showed in 2000, I think it was 7. They look exactly the same on the right-hand side of the screen there in her TED Talk. They're exactly the same. So they're telling us they got this picture in 2019, and it's that nice red image. But in 2017, she had the same picture, 2 years before the official picture was even taken. I don't know if you see that. I'm seeing the same thing. It looks exactly the same, maybe just a little bit different. But what's going on here?
In the video, right?
Yeah, in the video. So she's showing that panel, how they reconstruct the image, and on the right-hand side of the screen, that image, the fake image, is now the official image, 2 years before it was even taken. So something odd is going on here.
Yeah, what's the time? You got a timestamp on that one? Cruising through here.
Near the end, when we paused it.
Okay.
If you just find it for you real quick.
Got it. Okay. Oh, there it is. Yeah, okay. Reconstructing the image. More likely and less likely. Okay, here we go. Gonna pop this back up. Yeah, all right. So this is what we're talking about.
Yeah, so go to like 725-ish on the right-hand side of the screen. You see that? It looks exactly the same as the one they took now. There's even a bright spot in the top, and then it kind of tapers off a bit, and then it brightens up again in the ring around the black hole. But this is, again, 2 years before the official image was taken, and it looks almost identical. I'm pulling it up on my screen. Yeah, no, it looks basically the same thing. They've rotated it a bit, and of course they've added colors. But I don't know if you see that. You see a bright spot in that donut outside edge. It darkens down a bit, and then you see another bright area. It's exactly the same.
Yeah, exactly. It is one's you know, like I said, an artist rendition, and the next one is kind of a like a 3-year-old tried to copy it. And that's what we got. That's what we got. I mean, whatever, right? Whatever. I mean, here's science. This is science. This is why we buck against this trend a little bit. You know, it's a little bit insulting, and you know, she admitted herself. This is a little bit wacky. So there's a video. I did link it if you guys want to check it out and watch the whole video here of the TED Talks. This one is 12 minutes. There's probably like a full 3-hour version because that's usually how they do it. But yeah, crazy stuff, man. It's like we've always said, NASA doctors their videos and their images and everything else. All the data they get, right? It seems to be recreated to what would you say? That's a confirmation bias of what we believe already exists out there. And so by doing that, we're shooting science in the foot. We're shooting ourselves in the foot. Because, yeah, I mean, maybe Frank's black hole does have a smiley face. Maybe it really does. And, yeah, no, doesn't match. Doesn't match our pre-selected criteria, so throw it out. Yeah, no, not good. Not good, man. I'm with you. I don't like this. I don't like this a bit. I was impressed at first saying, wow, they got that from that many light years away. Holy smokes, that's amazing. But now you listen to that, I'm less impressed by a lot. So, yeah. Anyway, what do you guys feel about it? Is this something we should talk about, or you really don't give a crap? You're just used to it and you think NASA's pulling the wool over our eyes and trying to make jobs for themselves or spend their budget or what? You tell us. You know how to do that. 702-957-1037. We do take live calls throughout the show. And, yeah, you can go to troubledminds.org and click the Discord link and join us on Discord as well. So let us know what you think. Going to look at some chat here in a sec. And any other points about this, Frank?
Yeah, this whole thing is a microcosm for how the media works. Like, again, imagine this. We don't know what a black hole looks like. They show us a picture, and now we have to rely on them to tell us what it looks like. There's no other way for us to look at it. We can't pull out a telescope. We can't. It's impossible. We can't do it. So now this is officially what a black hole looks like. But what if a black hole doesn't look like this? You know, it could be something completely different. And so you talk about the news media, it's the same thing, only on a much larger scale. They feed us our information. They tell us what to think. They tell us what's going on. What if they're just lying to us? They're pushing their narratives. They're lying the entire time. We won't know any better because we can't go to these places or interview these people. We just can't do it. So I'm starting to think that we're having the wolves in a major way, that the way the world works and what things look like and how people act is completely different than what they're telling us. And we would never know the difference because of this omnipresent media everywhere.
Yeah, we would never know. Agreed. Stark is in the caller queue there. He wants to comment on this if we want to drag him in. But yeah, exactly. Like, so at which point are we fooling ourselves? Are we just making this whole charade up to do what? I don't even know. Like what's the goal here? If we're just trying to fool ourselves. I mean, there's the image of the black hole. Thanks for pulling that up, Frank. This is the one they've actually imaged. And yeah, again, not impressed. Definitely not impressed now. Now that I learned that this is how they did it. It's yeah, not so good. Add the color and all this other stuff, and that's what you get. 3-year-old finger painting. Definitely. Let's get Stark in here.
Okay, moving him in. Hello, you're on Troubled Minds Radio with Mike and Frank. How you doing? And what do you think?
Hey, Frank. Hey, Mike.
What's happening, buddy? How are you?
Hold on.
No. Come on.
Oh, wait a minute. I gotta mute this. Hold on.
All
Sorry,
right.
guys. Sorry.
You're good.
I had the Facebook on and a Discord, and it was like a, I don't know, 5-second delay or 10-second.
Okay, that's not good. All right. What's happening? What do you think about this black hole thing?
Okay. Black holes. Okay, look at it like this. From what we're told today, black holes are, let me calm down. They suck everything in, right? And it goes where?
Yeah.
I guess it's all compacted. The supermassive gravity compacts.
Yeah, but where does
so
it
much
go?
that-
It turns. What does it turn black? Does it turn like invisible? Where does that material go? It's got to go somewhere, right?
I think the thing that they say is that it's all compacted into a super heavy mass, and so it's a singularity almost. That all this matter, all this water and the gases and everything is compacted into a single particle, so heavy, so dense that light can't escape from around it.
So that's almost like what they say about the Big Bang, that it was a single mass that exploded and gave us this universe, right?
I think that's what some people think, is that there's a bunch of black holes now, but one day, an unthinkable amount of time from now, all these black holes are going to kind of join up together and reform the Big Bang one day.
It could be true. But here's my theory. Here's my little weird, crazy theory. I'm just a human. You see the stars, right? We see all these stars everywhere. True?
Yeah,
Yep.
I think we can say that's true.
Okay. So here's my theory. I sometimes wonder if all that material from the black hole is going into a star on another galaxy, universe, or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know. But it's just a
Could
theory.
be it's transmitting it somehow through some kind of subspace into these stars. It's like a fuel plant for these stars. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we don't know yet, though. But look at that picture. I don't know. That's weird. I've seen black holes, and they've told us black holes. They showed us black holes, haven't they? Before.
Who knows anymore, right?
Exactly.
They just admitted they faked the whole thing. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, we can't know, and yet told to know.
Mhm.
We're told their opinion, and we have to adopt their opinion. So I don't know. And again, this is the point in the show where if you have a different opinion, you want to correct me, please do call in. So what do you think about this image? What do you think about how they formed it and what they did to form it? They just guessed. They took what they thought looked right.
Well, you said she took all these pixels and stuff and put them together. What is that? We've got technology. We can see almost outside of the or almost to the edge of the universe. I think they said with Hubble. I think it was with Hubble. I don't know. But here we are, and they show us this blurry picture of a black hole. I've always told you guys this. They're lying to us. They've been lying to us. They're going to continue to lie to us until we stand up and say, hey, enough's enough. We want to know the truth. I want to know the truth. Don't you guys? That's why we're here. We want to know the truth. We don't have the answers, but we're looking for it. We want to know.
I'm starting to think that what's on the moon, what's on Mars, what's in space is not what they're telling us.
Exactly.
I'm really starting to believe that. And I think if we all find out, this is the terrifying thing, they're just going to drop an asteroid on the planet. These monkeys, these slaves down here, they're getting too smart for their own good. Reset. Because that's
why I'm. That's true. Frank, I got to agree with you on that. And it's sad, kind of true, that I've always thought that we're just an experiment again. I mean, I hope our souls, our energies go on to something else, but here we are. We're looking at this live, and for some reason we're acknowledging that. Wow, we want to know the fucking truth. I want to know the truth. You want to know the truth. That's why we're here. But they're gonna play us like you said, monkeys.
Unfortunately,
what can we do about it? All we can do is try to put it together ourselves and talk about it, right?
Well, what I do is I fight in my mind. That's a hard thing to do. Mind over matter. I don't know if you're spiritual guys or people, but I'm a spiritualist. I believe in everything and nothing. Because it's like believing in God and the devil. You got to believe one or the other. Or one. If you believe in God, you believe in the devil. You believe in the devil, you believe in God. If you believe in light, you believe in dark. You believe in dark, you believe in light. It's there. That's what we have. So we take that little bit of what we have and make it, because there's so much more of that. That's just the building blocks, I would say. But here we are, and we got so much. And I think that we're at our planet, our solar system, everything, our life here on the planet is at a point where, again, we may have done this before. I don't know. I do, but here we are. And it's like, damn it, I want to know now. I'm sick of this bullshit. Why are you going to keep herding us around, herding us like sheep, you know?
There you go. Hey, I got a couple of pretty good theories here from chat about where this stuff goes from a black hole. So Tyrell wants to know, first off, is this a couch auction or what? Yeah, we'll be selling the couch at the end of the show, so hang around.
Well, I got the couch already. Didn't I get the couch last week?
No, yeah, maybe, you may have won the couch. All right, Gabe says they.
I didn't when I bought it.
Okay, no, I'm just kidding. It's just a joke. Okay, so Gabe says they turn to stardust as it goes into the black hole. Okay, Devin says it's a magic trick. It's gone and then it's there. Paul's got a theory. He says it's an education process. I'm not sure exactly what that means. And then Devin says radiant energy teleportation. And then my favorite theory for the night here, Dale says it goes to the universal septic tank. That's what happens when you send something into a black hole. Oh, there we go. It's always got to have plumbing, right? So maybe that's
somebody's got to pump that septic tank out, right?
Exactly. Maybe that's where it's going. Maybe that's where it goes. And then Caesar, of course, adds never a straight answer. So, yeah. Anything else while we got you here? Rolf?
I love you guys. It's a great show. And, I talked about Assange. That's a bunch of bullshit, man. This guy was able to do what he did. They hate him for it because he's exposed. I think, wasn't he the one that brought about all this stuff that we're looking at today in the government corruption and this and that and all this shit? In a way.
Yeah, between him and Snowden.
Snowden.
Life would be completely different if you think about it. Those two guys removed, life would be completely different than what we think now. And I think you're right, is they hate him. All that Pizzagate stuff, if you're familiar with that came out of those Podesta emails that leaked out of WikiLeaks. So they hate that guy. And
they do.
He won, and they want to punish him, and that's the end of the story as far as I'm concerned.
Right, exactly.
Well, I just hope that he has the 300 million emails that what's her name cleaned. You know, that would be nice to know.
33,000. 33,000.
Yeah. I was a little off there, but
you know how I know that? I mean? I know that because Sean Hannity says it every day, every single day for like 2.5 years.
What?
like 10 times a day. Anyway, I turn it on and I'm like, God, he's still talking about this, and I turn him off.
I know I can't watch Fox anymore. I can't watch any MSM. Because they're so I don't know what's going on.
It's pretty crazy. Okay, so Paul says he's going to call in and tell us what his theory is. So we're open to that. Thank you, Rolf. That's Rolf from New York, everybody. So appreciate the call, and we're going to move you out. Got him, Frank? Okay, we got him. Okay.
By the way, a couch auction. I didn't know what that was. It's when a group of Facebook trolls finds a random live stream and calls in to ask about the imaginary couch they are selling. So if you've got a couch and you want to sell it, you know who to call. And then we'll talk for real afterwards.
Okay. I didn't know that's what that was. Well, I just learned something. It's like an internet term I didn't know. That's pretty amazing. So are we the dark web yet, Frank? Or is that something entirely different?
Something entirely different. Let's move on. What do you think about that? Let's keep going. We got plenty to cover and not enough time to do it.
Let's do it.
Talking about WikiLeaks, talking about Assange, let's open up this one from WikiLeaks. What the heck is this? Okay. Secret moon base U.S. had destroyed by UR, and the UR is the Soviet Union. 1979, January the 11th. This is only the header. The real information wasn't online, but there was a moon base the U.S. had, and it was destroyed by the Soviet Union. From WikiLeaks, who is this sent to? The Bureau of European and Eurasian Affairs, a congressional correspondence sent to Cheryl P. Walter, whoever that might be. And the real text of this cable is on microfilm, so unfortunately we can't see it, but we do see the header. A secret moon base that the U.S. had was destroyed by the UR, which is the Soviet Union. What do you think about this?
What the hell? Okay, so this is from WikiLeaks, eh? Yeah, I didn't know this was a thing. Is this new? This just dropped?
No, I think this is, again, this is a treasure trove, a massive library of information. And I don't even think there's anyone out there who's personally gone through the entire thing, looked at every single WikiLeaks document. It's impossible. There's too much there. But
okay,
someone dug this up. This is actually from UFO Settings Daily, .com. So Scott P. Warning, I believe. But there we go. What do you think about this? They're talking about this. It's a congressional correspondence sent to Europe. And they had a moon base, and it was destroyed by the Soviet Union in 1979.
That's pretty crazy. So that this would actually corroborate a lot of the secret space program stuff and a bunch of other things that, of course, have been long speculated by tinfoil hatters, of course, which means you're completely wrong, by definition, because you're got a tinfoil hat. And so, I don't know. I like to look into this a little bit more. Any information down here? No, just the header, of the thing. But yeah, that's crazy. So we have a name here, Cheryl P. Walter, which is good. Maybe we can do some looking into who that young lady might be, and find out what's going on. But yeah, I mean, does it surprise me that this is a possibility? No, not at all. Because again, like this is the stuff we talk about. Like this is the science they do to show us a black hole, for instance, and because they don't want us to think about things like this, right? I mean, I kind of lines up a little bit. Definitely kind of makes sense. Yeah,
so this was actually sent, okay, let me see here. It was from Samuel Devine to, and it was CC'd, I guess, to Cheryl P. Walter. But Samuel Devine, let me pull this page up, was an American politician of the Republican Party who served as a Congress member of Ohio in that time period. So there you go. This is from a congressman of Ohio, Samuel L. Devine. And he's talking about a secret base on the moon destroyed by the USSR.
The Bureau of European and Eurasian Affairs. The office action. Interesting. Yeah, that's pretty crazy stuff. This is news to me, right? And if it was actually in some sort of actual diplomatic cable like this, disinformation, or was this sort of a real thing? I have no idea. It's mind-boggling that there's an actual document about this. I wonder what if there's any FOIA on this, or if it's been tracked down.
I hope there is. That's a very good point, is that someone can use this information. They even say it here to start picking out these names. I want a FOIA request from all the information sent from this congressman during this period of time, and they'll get back this the actual text of this document. So that's a good point. I hope someone does that. But again, this is the beauty of WikiLeaks. This is why we need WikiLeaks. Look at this. Real information right in front of us, and they're trying to shut this guy down. They're dragging him out of the embassy. They're, spreading lies that he was a crazy person smearing feces on his walls. You can't believe that. This is the kind of information we can get, a secret base on the moon, and they're trying to get rid of it. So if you're out there and you're thinking, why are they talking about WikiLeaks? Come on. This is what, stuff like this. This is incredibly important for us to know, to look into, to do FOIA requests on, using the keywords here to get more information. This is amazing.
It is pretty good stuff. And so if this is just one out of how many, thousands or even possibly millions of pages, I think this is maybe worth going through. Maybe I'll spend some of my time looking at this. But this is amazing. Again, maybe. Was there a secret moon base that was destroyed by Russia, the USSR? Well, wouldn't that have been an act of war, and maybe could explain some things? This was 1979, January 11th. I wonder if there's some hostilities that happened right around there. Let's see. That would be right around the time of the American hostages in Iran. But I can't really think of anything off the top of my head that was kind of hot button world hot stuff going on in January 1979. So yeah, I don't know. Again, worth looking into maybe some of these dates and see if there was some evidence that might point to something like this happening, because things like this don't happen on a classified basis without other things in the machine kind of starting to turn on and happen in plain sight. So again, curious. Something to look into, but pretty good stuff. What do you guys think? We do have a caller on, so let's go ahead, Frank, real quick.
Yeah, let's just cover this. I posted a link in there. Why don't you pull that up? That was a good little insight there. Look at stuff that happened in 1979. Well, what's this? The Moon Treaty was signed in 1979. The agreement governing the activities of states on the moon and other celestial bodies, better known as the Moon Treaty or Moon Agreement, is a multilateral treaty that turns the jurisdiction of all celestial bodies over to the international community. And this happened in 1979. So there you go. We're putting the pieces together. It's on Wikipedia. They can't be lying. And yeah, this is kind of in the theme. The U.S. had their base on the moon. The USSR destroyed it. And then they put this Moon Treaty up that said, well, wait a minute. Everything up there is international. No one can own it in particular, I guess, is the synopsis of this whole thing. So there you go.
That's pretty crazy. All right. So you really just whipped that out of thin air as we were doing this? Or did you set me up?
No, absolutely. We do our research live on the show. Don't worry. We're prepared.
All right. All right. Just making sure. Because that came out of nowhere. That was pretty quick. Good job, Frank. Okay, let's go to this call, and we'll see what's going on with this, and then we'll keep on trucking here. All right. You were on Troubled Minds with Frank and Mike. What's your first name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Paul from New Hampshire.
Paul from New Hampshire. What's up, my man? What's on your mind?
Hey, guys. I was on the other night. I don't know if you remember me or not, but we had a little conversation. I started a YouTube channel, but I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about the black hole, which you guys have been talking about. And, you know, it's just what it is. I don't know how old you guys are, but I've been watching this stuff for a long time. And, I said it in my post on Facebook. It's an education process. Okay, we've said all along, what's the theory? If we were going to travel through space, there would be wormholes. That would be the way to do it. You fold a piece of paper in half. Instead of, getting in a spaceship that travels at the speed of light, you would bend space and time and go through a wormhole. And that's what it is. And now it's been proven. So there you go. That theory is proven. Although it was proven for years, there just wasn't any physical evidence of it. And it's what it is. This whole black hole thing is like 50-50 right now. People are going, what a joke, and it's fake news. It's really not. That was pretty cool what they did. At first, I felt the same way. I was like, what a joke. They gave you a little piece of a donut. But in reality, they, used the telescopes they had to take a picture of it. It's an electronic picture, so there's nothing there substantial. But the reality of it is the technology we have today, they probably already knew that. If you guys want to say something in here, let me know.
Yeah, we're just waiting for you to finish. Can you hear Frank? Frank, want to say something real quick? See if you can hear him.
Yeah, can you hear me, or we're just testing things out?
I can't hear Frank. Damn it.
Okay, all right, we'll have to fix this. I don't know what the hell's going on. I've gone through all the settings and everything.
I'd like to hear from Frank too. I mean, we need a conversation here. Sorry, I know.
That's okay. No, I was just letting you finish, and I forgot we have Frank probably on deck on this one. So okay, so what we'll do is I'll tell you what I think, and then we'll have Frank tell you off air when you're off. But yeah, so no, again, it's the same thing. Yeah. Okay, so explain to me why, real quick, why you're impressed by this. Like I was the opposite camp. I was impressed first because I was like, damn, that is a long ass distance. We're talking like hundreds of light years. It's ridiculous, right? That they imaged the black hole.
Right.
But then, did you see the TED Talks video we just played? She basically said we took a bunch of static and we turned it into an image that we thought it would look like, right? So it was our preconceived bias. We put together what we thought it would look like based on a bunch of nothing data, or next to nothing data, right? Of course, there's going to be some data.
And that's how they get you, my friend. They sensationalize it. That's what they've done all along. That's what mass media does. They sensationalize something to get you to pay attention so you forget about reality. And then when you go to see it, you're like, I can't wait. And a lot of people will let down, including me. We all expected to see that black hole from the movie The Black Hole because that's what's been implanted in our minds. And that's the way that mass media works, and that's the way the government works. They have everybody on a string, and they want everybody to believe a certain thing, and they show you the evidence they want you to see. And in the background, there's other people showing you real evidence that is really there. For instance, one of my favorite shows is Ancient Aliens. I don't know if you guys are into that. I'm sure you are. If you're not, I mean...
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Okay, hold on.
I mean, that's leaps and bounds ahead of what was going on back in the day, because it was all just, conjecture and, testimony, and everybody they show talking about a UFO or anything else was, how many people raised their hands knew about Puma Puku before they watched Ancient Aliens?
Yeah, probably very few. That's a good point. And probably a lot of the people that are here because of that show. Yeah, I agree 100%.
And exactly, yes, and that's what it is. There's millions of people now because of shows like that and like I said, an education process, slowly educating the human race to what's actually happening in this universe of ours. And that's what it is. The gentleman on the phone before said, do we see all these stars? Well, I live in New Hampshire, and that's why I videotape UFOs regularly, because you go out at night, man, there's stars everywhere. It looks like it's cloudy out, and all you got to do is look up and you figure it out. It's kind of, obvious when you put all the pieces together.
Okay, that makes sense. One more time, just to remind everybody what your YouTube channel is before we let you go, so we can have people take a look.
Yeah, New Hampshire UFO Hunter. But I wanted to tell you really quick what happened to me the other night, too, because I'm not a really big ghost guy, but I remember you guys were talking about ghosts.
Sure, fire away.
I got poked by my grandmother. I was kind of, I'm fighting with a couple of computers here. I got a couple of old laptops. I started this shit on a wing and a prayer, okay? A couple of friends going, you should do this, and I was like, well, I did. And kind of running a couple of old laptops with Windows 7, just throwing up some old videos from Hi8 tapes that I had. This is the real thing, okay? This is not digital crap that people have put together. Again, disinformation, it's all sensationalized. Look, a UFO, TR-3B, that's all crap. Okay, none of it's true. UFOs don't look like discs, and maybe they do once in a while, but when they do, it's not, it's an education process. They're not showing you a disc because they want you to watch a video of a disc. They're showing it to you because they wanted you to figure it out. And, anyways, my grandmother poked me. I kind of got in a bad place. I sat down. I gave up. I laid down on my couch and I had a little talk with my mom who passed away 6 or 7 years ago. And somebody poked me in the shoulder while I was falling asleep. And, and I mean, poked me. I felt a finger go into my shoulder. It freaked me out. I almost jumped up. I was like, first I was scared. And the second thing I wanted to do was jump up and punch whoever it was, because then it was, fight or flight. And I knew it right away. And I turned around. There was nobody in my house. I live alone. I have for, quite a while. I had a girlfriend not too long ago, but she's not here any longer. And sure thing, I went to see my sister the next day. Told her what happened. She didn't say anything. I thought, she's pretty smart too, she's not, scared of this kind of thing. And I called her later that night because it popped into my head that my grandmother used to poke people in the shoulder. And the minute I called her, I said, I think I figured it out. And she said, what do you mean? And I said, it was Betty. We used to call my grandmother Betty. She died at 98 years old. And, I used to go see her at least once a month, 2-hour drive, and she poked me. And, different thing than what I'm going through now, but it's what it is. I've been going through it my whole life, and I just thought it'd be a good story because there's other things going on that they don't want you to know about. And that black hole thing is education. Look, It's true. We can travel from star to star. That's what they just proved. And that's the evidence that you can bring to the table if you're trying to prove anything paranormal, because there's more to the big picture than we've been led to believe.
Okay. And I don't think you'll have anybody argue with you here. Thanks for the call, man. Anything else before we drop you real quick?
No, thanks. Check out my YouTube channel, New Hampshire UFO Hunter. I'm trying to put up some new footage, but like I said, fighting with my computer. I got everything stabilized, so hopefully within the next day I should have some new footage up.
Okay, appreciate that, man. Thanks for calling in. That's Paul from New Hampshire, guys. You can check him out at YouTube, New Hampshire UFO hunter. So yeah, that's pretty wild. The grandma. Like I said, I've had some. My mother has been psychically in tune. Supposedly, it missed me, but she says things like that have happened to her in the past. So yeah, I believe you. I believe you on that for sure. Any thoughts, Frank?
Yeah, you said something there that you probably have this picture already. It was probably taken quite some time ago. I really do believe that. I think we've known about these things and taken these pictures and imaged the solar system quite some time ago, and they're hiding it. And talking about the education there, I don't know if I missed the point, but I think I'll take my own interpretation of what he said there, is they want us to think certain things. So first they say this is what a black hole looks like. Then they make an artist representation, and it gets in our mind. It sticks in our mind. Oh, this is what it must look like. And then they show the picture, and that's like turning the lock, locking the idea in. Well, this is now what a black hole looks like. So as an education process, that's interesting to slowly meter out details over years and years and years, and then finally just lock it in place by showing us this image. And this is what a black hole is going to look like for the rest of time, even if it doesn't look like that.
Right, until we have irrefutable evidence. But yeah, I think it's a little odd. We mentioned this when we first talked about the black hole imaging. How come they didn't look at the one in the supermassive one in the center of the Milky Way? And somehow they went hundreds of light years away instead of the one that's dozens of light years away. So I think that's a little bit suspicious there. So I don't know. I'm not sure. More stuff that makes you shrug and go, I wonder what's really happening here. So again, what do you guys think? Anything else on the black hole here, or any of the stuff we talked about, Frank? Or how you feeling, buddy?
Yeah, let's move on. We got more to talk about this WikiLeaks. And you mentioned something. So again, WikiLeaks shows us a base on the moon. Okay. Now, there's all these, I think there's 3 of them, 3 Apollo 20 mission videos. And we played one of them a while back about that lady on the moon. You remember that? The mummy on the moon, and it had rings in its face. If you open up this link here,
let's see what I miss.
It should be above that.
Yeah,
I can repost the link.
Yeah, please do. Please do. All right, we're going to play that in just a sec. Yeah. We've got...
There we go.
Thank you. All right, here we go. I must have missed a link, setting it up, which, hey, we're all human here. Okay, here we go. And let's play this sucker and see what we're looking at. Okay, so this is, okay, to recap, if you're just joining us, WikiLeaks released a cable here, or that said something about the secret moon base was destroyed by the USSR, and this cable was January 11th, 1979, okay? And then Frank pulled out on the fly here that there was a moon treaty on December 18th, 1979. So there was definitely some kind of a political thing going on in that year with the moon, which is interesting. And then here we go with this. So then here's some more of this actual stuff supposedly happening around that time frame. So this is Apollo 20 discovers alien city on moon surface. So here we go. Let's play this action.
Yeah, and as we're playing it, I'll just read about it. So on April of 2007, several videos apparently taken by NASA emerged on the internet. And this was apparently from a covert mission, Apollo 20, where they went to the moon to retrieve ancient alien technology. And it seems ridiculous. It seems kind of crazy. This is coming from a guy named William Rutledge, who was an astronaut, or claims to have been an astronaut. But you look at this stuff, and yeah, it seems pretty silly. It seems pretty crazy. But there you go. This definitely looks like the moon surface. The video is kind of odd in a way. But there we go. We see a city on the moon that was destroyed. So is this what the cable was talking about? I guess is the whole point of this. And does these kind of leaks, these WikiLeaks, substantiate this image and say, yes, this was a city and it was destroyed?
Yeah, so it appears to be in this video that's rolling up. If you guys aren't, if you're only listening, I did link it in chat if you want to check it out yourself. But it appears to be, it looked like some kind of structure down on the bottom right, and then as it pans up, there's definitely some sort of city. I don't know if it's busted up or what, but it does look like the moon surface, the lunar surface. It's got craters and tracks like you expect to see. Everything's the right color with that moon dusty gray, and yeah, it's definitely some sort of man-made structures, or let's say maybe not man-made structures, not natural structures. Let's say that's for sure. So yeah, I don't know what this could be, but that's pretty insane. Is this the city that got destroyed right there on the WikiLeaks cable? Pretty wacky stuff. Pretty wacky stuff. Good stuff. What's happening, Tamron? Thanks for showing up. A couple more shout-outs on YouTube there. We got Rotten. Oh, we already said hi to Rotten. Well, what's up, Rotten? And Evan was here as well. What's up, Evan? Thanks for showing up. Good stuff. Good stuff. This is a city here on the moon, apparently. Maybe corroborated by a WikiLeaks cable, and that's what we're talking about tonight. So far, anyway. What's up, Sherry? Says, they have known that for many years. Question is, why mention it now? Oh, us or them? I'm not sure what you mean. But, yeah. No, I follow you. There's a lot of this stuff that's been speculated over the years, for sure. And where, you know, why it gets left in the dust is obvious. They don't want us talking about it. And two, why bring it up? Well, maybe it's random. maybe randomly. Maybe somebody whispered in Frank's ear. Maybe that's what happened. I have no idea. What made you bring it up, Frank? What inspired you?
Again, just look into WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks is incredibly important. All this information is being released, and people roll their eyes at it. Like, I don't know why you would trust that lunatic Tom DeLonge from Blink 182. Like, he's a crazy person. He really is. But then you get a WikiLeaks from a congressman, right? Real information, a real telegraph. And then you got these videos to go along with it. This is real evidence, whereas what's that guy showing us? Nothing. Yet he's in the New York Times, and WikiLeaks is, well, Assange is in jail now. So, I don't know. How can you not look at this and wonder?
Yeah, exactly. Fred says he thinks this looks fake. I kind of agree in that it might be some sort of an illustration effect, but who knows, right? Again, this kind of corroborates time-wise what they're saying in that cable, so it's hard to just throw it out the window and go, must be fake. So I don't know. Again, we haven't, these aren't, we're not as fortunate as Tom DeLonge and his esteemed academy to get unredacted cables from the the government with chain of custody intact. So here we are playing stuff from YouTube, but you get the point, right? Like this, if this is possibly real, then I think people should be talking about it. That's for absolutely sure. Pretty good stuff.
So that was the first Apollo 20. Again, Apollo 20 is apparently the secret mission to recover artifacts. Let's play the second one. We've played this before, so we don't have to show it for too long. But it's this alien woman creature on the moon. Play it and maybe describe what you see, and then we'll talk about that too.
That's the Apollo 20 alien ship, right?
Apollo 20, I posted the link in the same place, but yeah, this is the mummy that they saw afterwards. So they went up there, they saw the city, and then they saw this mummy and recovered it.
All right, let's find out what we got here. Let's play this sucker. And yeah, we did play this once before. I remember seeing this. This is pretty crazy. Okay, and action. So this was a some sort of mummy that was supposedly discovered. What was the name of this? This was there was a moon woman or something. There was an actual name for this.
Yeah, it's escaping me now. I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody in chat will tell us. If you guys remember what the name of this is, let us know. But yeah, so this was we played this previously, and this was supposedly found on the moon. This is some sort of supposedly a mummy that was some remains of a human or non-human or whatever it looks to be. And yeah, let's see. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Yeah, thanks, Kelly. Her name is the Mona Lisa. There it is. Thank you. Yeah, so if this all kind of lines up to around that timeline, right? Maybe like late 70s, early 80s, this maybe starts to add up, right? And things don't seem as crazy in tinfoil hat to even ask the question about it, because they want us to feel that way. They want us to be intimidated about asking these things. Is this real? I can't tell you, but again, you guys decide for yourself. You look at the video. Here, I'll link the video so you guys can watch it full screen yourself. And what do you think? What do you think this looks like? So we have a nice narrative here, right? So we got a 1979 cable from WikiLeaks that claims Russia destroyed a base on the moon. And we have a 1979 treaty about the moon, happens in the same year. And this Apollo stuff going on with these images and this Apollo 20. Pretty crazy stuff. Pretty crazy stuff to be all around the same time. So definitely line up with the city on the moon would be some sort of a mummy remains, the Mona Lisa. Thank you again for that, Kelly. Yeah, pretty crazy stuff.
Now, there's a final video in this series, so just play this and click through it. They discovered a ship, and that's apparently the mummy, or the Mona Lisa was inside the ship. And again, this is Apollo 20, apparently a mission that happened. If you look at Wikipedia, of course, it says the entire thing's a hoax, it's all fake, so on and so forth. But Yeah, pull this one up, click through it. They found a ship on the moon. And again, this is like, think about how all this is apparently Apollo 20 was to the dark side of the moon. So that's where China is now. And we've covered this before, but there's crazy stuff there in plain sight in NASA images on the dark side of the moon. Stuff that looks like ships, plainly evident. And there you go. So I don't know. All these pieces line up. They make sense. Is this just someone taking details and exaggerating it? You know, using a little dash of reality and a big spoonful of fiction and making a story up? Or is this real? I don't know what to think, and no one will ever tell us. And unfortunately, now that WikiLeaks is going under, we're not going to get this kind of information anymore. They're going to take it away from us. So I don't know, like it's incredibly valuable, this service that we're being provided. A look behind the scenes, a look at the information. You know, I'm starting all this hubbub about WikiLeaks. You know, they went on about Pizzagate and all that, if you remember the whole thing, the Podesta emails, all that crazy stuff. I'm starting to think that was a smokescreen for the real information behind this stuff like this. You know, everyone look here, look at this crazy Pizzagate stuff. Meanwhile, ignore the base on the moon. Ignore these Apollo 20 mission videos. Ignore the moon treaty. You know, it's kind of like a distraction.
Kind of like a psychological, I can't say it, psychological operation, right? Like it's intentional. Maybe this lefty-righty crap that they're feeding down our throats every single day, 24 hours a day, is completely disinformation only to keep us from looking at this stuff. Maybe, hey? Maybe. You never know. Never know. It's definitely something. I'll call it a pile of crap. That's for starters. But what it is beyond that, I'm not so sure it's face value. That's for sure. Okay. Let's see. Tamara wants to call this individual the Muna Lisa. So we can do that. Might help me remember it for next time. But yeah, so definitely pretty crazy stuff. The videos are there if you guys want to check them out. Pretty good stuff. And yeah, I don't know. That's pretty compelling. The WikiLeaks memo that was released in '79, and that's all the other stuff. Pretty good, Frank. You what do you think? Thumbs up or thumbs down, for real or not?
Again, it's hard to tell. I'm not going to jump to conclusions here. I hope someone like that Black Vault character takes the information from this header and does the FOIA requests and gets the real stuff. Like we have mechanisms to do this. It's not publicized. The media will never tell you that, but there's ways to get more information. So hopefully someone will look into it, do the FOIA request, and we can track this down. Of course, you really have to wonder, would they actually send that information out? Would they honor these FOIA requests? I kind of doubt it. So we'll see. But it's a start. It's a breadcrumb, and we got to, follow the trail.
Yeah, definitely. I did see something recently in the last couple months where John Greenwell Jr. from the Black Vault, who has over 2 million pages of FOIA requests on his website, if you guys have never heard of it, that he said he's been getting shut down more and more recently, and there tends to be no recourse. So like the percentage of actual FOIA information that comes back is been redacted at kind of an unprecedented rate, and it's accelerating. So pretty scary stuff when we're the ones footing the bill and we have no idea what's going on and no way to get information from the government. So yeah, that's a thing. It's happening. It's definitely happening. Pretty scary stuff. I'm gonna say I like it. I like it. I think it deserves a better look and maybe some FOIA action. So if maybe we can file some of these ourselves and take a look and maybe start the process. The unfortunate part is they sandbag you, right? They take years to get this information back to you, and then they'll say, "Oh, we made a typo. Did you mean this or did you mean that?" After like 2 years, right? So then you have to resubmit the thing. Like that's the type of games they play with this, with the FOIA. So, yeah, yeah. If there's nobody's working on this, I'll definitely see if we can get this out because I think it's worth doing. Definitely worth doing. Okay. Anything else about this, Frank?
No. Let's move on. Let's pick something else here. What do you got? You want to do a story, or do you want me to go into Crazy Town, into genuine Crazy Town?
I like Crazy Town, but I don't know how you're feeling. We got anything that piqued your interest there? Pull them up and take a look real quick.
Let's talk about this human hybrid bit. I think that's pretty good. The monkeys and the brains that you pulled out. What's going on here? And it's from our favorite people, of course, the Chinese.
The Chinese. Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah, let's talk about this one real quick. So if anybody's seen Planet of the Apes and really appreciates the movie, you're going to like this one. So this was reported a few days ago, but here's the headline. Chinese scientists put human brain genes in a monkey. And it was actually 12 monkeys, and they're, what is this, rhesus monkeys, I think is the name, the technical term, scientific term. But, and then what they did is they tested the cognitive ability and memory of these monkeys versus others. And apparently it's made them smarter. So, and of course by the Chinese. Here we go. Let's see. Let's pick a choice level here. All right. So let's see. All right. So, okay. They focused on the gene. I don't think anybody really knows about the gene because I don't, but it's called MCPH1, which when damaged produces babies with smaller brains than is typical. Adding the human version of MCPH1 to monkey embryos resulted in 11 specimens, but 6 of them died before any test could be performed. And the additional 5, with the scientists confirmed have multiple copies of the human gene, were tasked with completing memory tests and were subjected to MRI scans. Interestingly, the researchers noted that the monkeys' brains weren't actually any larger than their unmodified peers, but they did perform better with short-term memory exercises. So, does that terrify you? How does that make you feel, Frank?
It's absolutely amazing. We need to be doing more of this. These guys, these monkeys here, demonstrated more advanced problem-solving skills than their unmodified brethren. Now, wow. Think about that. This is what we need to be doing. Like the Chinese guys who were giving immunity to HIV to twin babies. This is the way forward. You know, if we want to keep advancing at this rate that we're advancing now, like think about that. 300 years ago, there were no cars, no airplanes, no roads, or no paved roads anyway. And no technology, no phones, no satellites, no space travel, nothing. And in that time, we've come so far and so fast. And if we keep limiting ourselves, not doing things like this, not modifying babies, not modifying anything, it's going to peter out. I think it's already starting to peter out a little bit. You think about it, in the last 10 years, what do we have that's new? Phones that are smaller and slimmer, and that's about it as far as I can tell. But if we want to keep advancing, keep moving forward at this breakneck pace, and I think we should, personally, we need to be doing stuff like this. Let's get some babies and let's make them 10 times smarter, 100 times smarter than what we have now. And because they're smart, they're going to learn faster, develop new technologies, and we'll keep advancing. That's the way to save the planet. It really is. I don't know. I love this. I love this whole thing. But then I love head transplants too, so.
We've established, if you haven't seen that one, check it out. This was a couple weeks ago. But we did establish in that episode, if there was any doubt, Frank is a sick man, so there is that. But he still gets a vote, right? So we got to listen to what he has to say. Oh, political jab. Okay, so I think it's good. But again, here's the problem, right? It's the same conversation. It ends up being an ethics thing, and how far do we go with this? And so if we can do this with one gene, right, then we can do this with 2 genes or 10 genes or 100 genes with these people, and or monkeys or people or anything. And so you end up, where do you end up? Do we end up as superhumans? So we end up as humans that aren't humans anymore if you start doing this, which is good, right? But it could be extremely bad, because we don't know all the things, right? So I think again, the problem is like we end up doing things faster than we kind of really realize the full scope of the science involved. And so, monkeys, okay, right? Like, they died in embryo or whatever, but these other ones, like maybe they pass on genes, right? Maybe they create problems with these new genes that we have no anticipation to seeing in it. Maybe eventually passes the genes into monkey populations and these types of things. You know what I mean? So obviously they're not out in the wild currently, but that doesn't mean that these things will get out. And it's just anyway. It's Planet of the Apes. It's Planet of the Apes. Like we kind of don't know what we're asking for is kind of the my point there. And then we don't know our limitations, and then we don't know if we miss something. We don't know if there's actual issues with this for the long term. Maybe, yeah. I don't know. Like I foresee a lot of problems because we don't know all the things yet, right? And that's the problem. But again, like you said, you can't get there without trying. So again, I'm caught in the middle. Cognitive dissonance here. I think it's pretty scary, but otherwise,
yeah. The only way to know all the things is to do the things. Like you can make guesswork all you want. You can predict what will happen, but until you actually do it, I'm sure they had the same concerns about putting railroads across the country. Until you do these things, the consequences are unknown. And there's no reason we can't stop that. You know, we can't just shoot all these damn monkeys if they get out of control. There's no reason for that. Of course we can do that. We can solve the problems. If we can create the problem, we can solve it. This is amazing. I think they should be doing it to humans, quite frankly. Make smarter humans, make better humans. Why are they stopping at monkeys? You know, they don't have human rights in China as it is. Let's keep going. You know, more power to them.
Okay, fair enough. I saw you had another one here that was kind of related with the human pig hybrid. You want to jump into that too?
Let's open up this from the best website in the world, express.co.uk. Human pig hybrid. China is close to growing human organs in pigs. And who was talking about this recently? And everyone made fun of him. Oh, it was Alex Jones, wasn't it?
Alex
Everyone
Jones
made fun of that guy.
That's right, Alex Jones.
And they were making fun of him. But here we go, human pig hybrids. And this is another great story. Think about this. You get some pigs. They're growing a human heart inside them, human liver, human kidney. And you need a kidney, you need a liver to transplant to save someone's life. Well, you just kill the pig, take it out, and then make some bacon with the rest of it. Everybody wins except for the pig, and I don't care about the pig. It's tasty. So there you go. Imagine that, though. You know, you have a heart disease. You got to get on this donor list. It takes forever, and usually you don't get it. Maybe you die before you get the organ. Here we go. We can just get a farmer, you know, over Jimmy Bob, the pig farmer. Oh, you need a heart? Here you go. Take this one. You need a liver? Oh, here you go. Take this one. There's no reason not to do this. Patients dying from organ failure is ridiculous. If they can do this, if they can grow human organs inside pigs, what's wrong with that? Like, really, what's wrong with that? Maybe they even taste good. You know, there's nothing wrong with this whatsoever. It seems to be what we need to be doing. Like, I don't see a single downside. I'd love someone to tell me if there is a downside. Chat out there, is there a downside to this? I don't think there is. This could save so many lives. It's ridiculous. And so props to China. Good job, China.
Good on China. Go get them. Patrick says on chat says, I agree on making humans smarter, but who wants to volunteer? That's a good idea. That's a good point too. What if they blow it, right? And you end up being the guy that they blew it on. You're like, oh yeah, I'll volunteer. I'd like to be smarter. That would be amazing. And then they're like, oh, sorry, we leaked this toxic chemical into your brain, and you're not smarter. You're actually the opposite. I mean, you're dead. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know exactly who's going to volunteer. I think that's the problem, right? So you have to do it from, you're changing genes. You can't change genes on the fly anyway, though, right, Frank? Like you could change my genes, or you'd have to do it in embryo status and then have them birthed or whatever.
It's a lot more difficult to do it when you're an adult human, but I think they're coming up with ways to do it now. It takes a whole hell of a lot more effort, definitely, but you can do it. Yeah, again, so it wouldn't be, these first cases, they wouldn't be humans. They wouldn't be adult humans. It would be an embryo. So the baby wouldn't have a choice to volunteer. But you know what? Who gives a shit, quite frankly? It sounds terrible. It sounds horrible, but we got people dying of starvation all over the world. We got people dying in wars and car accidents. Okay, I read this story. We don't have it here, but I'll just relate it quickly. Some chick wanted to take a better selfie, a great selfie image for Instagram. So she climbed up on top of a bell tower and then fell down and smashed her head in, right? And she died. So, you know, we got people killing themselves trying to take Instagram selfies. What's the difference? I don't understand. Like, people are fucking stupid. And maybe if they were a little bit smarter, they could solve these problems. They could, you know, climb that tower better or solve world hunger with their enhanced intelligence. So yeah, let's take the risk. Let's definitely take the risk. People are dying anyway. And maybe in the long run, this solves the problem.
Yeah, it could be. We got some good comments here. Tamarin says, but pigs can contain every single disease and not get sick. I don't want that in my body. Okay. I've never heard that, but if that's the case, all right. Gabe says cross mutation. Yeah, right. So if we're maybe we got issues that our body somehow, I don't know. I'm not smart enough to even tell you how it might work, but right, like put the tinfoil hat on, and I can't help but think we're gonna be so smart, right? We're gonna be so advanced that we're just gonna screw ourselves. You know what I mean? But like you said, Frank, I agree. Unless you try, you can't do. So, anybody volunteer out there? Okay, Patrick says there's also a risk on whether the human will use his new intelligence either for good or evil. We all know that knowledge is a powerful and dangerous thing, and that's true, right? So like Frank said, so maybe we do get smarter people that kind of push things technologically forward faster, and so we put ourselves on a collision course with either doom or prosperity, and some sort of relative peace. Because that's where we're headed, right? One or the other. It's I don't think you can really. Maybe you could argue for gridlock and murder, and maybe never really heading to any actual end. But then we're going to be stuck in never actually doing anything or going anywhere as a species, and just kind of hang out and watch the new technology, the new Game of Thrones or whatever it is in 20 years, and then kill each other for our leisure time. Who knows? But I mean. What do you do? What you can't. I think that's the problem with humans, right? Is you just can't control or even predict reliably what humans will do, because we're pretty wild and out there. Pretty wild and out there. Michael out there gives you a thumbs up and 100, Frank. You get the 100 for being the crazy. I added the crazy.
Can you fire off that reset button there? Something weird's going on with the audio.
You got it, buddy.
Yeah, but think about that though. It's just as bad to do nothing as it is to do something, because one day an asteroid's going to hit the Earth. One day the sun's going to have a coronal mass injection and fry the Earth. Like, those are things that are going to happen. Maybe not in 100 years, maybe not in 1,000 years, but 2,000 years, 10,000 years, it's going to happen. It's happened before. It's happened many times. It's proven now. So we are all going to die unless we prevent it. And so, throwing up an excuse that everything's okay now, so we'll just stay where we are, is silly, because that's not looking forward to the future. One day they joke about it, they make movies about it, but an asteroid will hit the Earth and it will wipe us out. And that's not a theory, that's a fact. It's going to happen. So let's get the smarter people now. Let's get these smart people who can build better rocket ships and teleportation engines and all this kind of crazy stuff and get us up there. And what better people to do this research than smart people that we breed for it, essentially. It's kind of like a case system almost, but who cares? Let's do it.
Yeah. Back to, who was that? The philosopher that had the, oh man, drawing a total blank. Anyway, yeah, I got you. So smart people make better things faster and will help us get to the moon and to Mars and beyond, and new technologies, and who knows? Yeah, maybe. I mean, given no military murder motive, I think sure, I'm behind it. But if you can make people like aim bots in real life, I'm not sure I like that. Life isn't fair as it is. Okay. Anyway, what do you guys think? Is this something that kind of creeps you out, or do you think that we should be able to do this? Because, I mean, it's obvious to me that growing human organs would be able to save tons of people. We slaughter pigs, millions of pigs, probably tens or hundreds of millions of pigs every year in the world. And, right, if we're slaughtering them, you may as well grow like a human organ in them and then take it out and then bam, some bacon, just like Frank said. It's like everybody wins. But are there concerns? Anything that make you hesitate here, or full speed ahead like Frank says? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Again, so if you want to join the show and talk about that, 702-957-1037, go to troubleminds.org. That's the official website. You can click the Discord link and give us a call, and either way, get in here and tell us what you think. Yeah, let's see what else. Sherry says, I've seen it many, I don't know what that is in reference to. Many does QHT, it's getting it constantly. I think that was in some reference to the chat. Tamron says, but how can we advance if the elite silence us? Example, 0 point energy from Tesla. And I think that goes back to almost full circle now to the beginning of what we started with WikiLeaks. That's a hell of a question. If the elite are silencing us and not giving us the information that they have, I think we have big time problems. You're right. Again, predicting human behavior, I think, is probably the hardest part. Did that fix the audio there, Frank?
You're still cutting in and out a bit on my side, so as long as the audience can hear, that's perfectly fine.
Okay, yeah, I think we're fine. All right, so what do you think about this, Frank? And what do you want to do? More or move on?
yeah, again, though, it's ridiculous. Like, this is almost tantamount to not preparing for winter. You know, we're in the summer right now. It's nice. The weather's out. Everything's good. This is an analogy, of course. It's still pretty cold out, but you know, everything's good. The crops are growing. Everything's fine. Well, when winter comes, you know, Game of Thrones reference, when winter comes, we're all going to be dead unless we start preparing, unless we start putting our food away and all this kind of stuff. And it's just like that, only on a much larger scale, 10 years, 100 years, 1,000 years. So let's breed smart people. Let's get organ transplants for free. Let's do all this stuff. There's no reason not to, other than that people are afraid. They're afraid of the future, afraid of advancing, and it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, agreed. We got a caller there on the queue. Want to drag them in, Frank? Yeah,
no, I don't see that.
Oh, or I do. Oh, well, I think I spooked him. He was just there. All right. If you want to get on the show on Discord and we were about to pull you in, well, come on back and we'll put you back on. He was just there. Okay. James says, do you think the elites already have access or the tech to some sort of time travel, one way or another? Time travel? I'm not so sure about time travel yet. Of course, you know, give it 1,000 years and maybe ask me that question if we're still around. But I think currently I would say no. What do you think about that one, Frank?
Yeah, it's hard to know, right? Because they pump out fiction, they pump out all this kind of stuff, and they confuse us. That's their job, is the Hollywood and the media and the news. They confuse us. So it's hard to tell. Maybe they don't have time travel. Maybe they have something completely different, something that we don't even know about. You know, it's almost sad that we're limited to saying, oh, they have time travel. Oh, they have a secret space program. I'm sure. What if they have something completely different that we've never even heard about? Something completely unknowable, and we would never know. There's no way to know, except for people, again, like WikiLeaks, but they're getting rid of that. So I don't know. It's a sad state of the world when we don't know what we're paying for, because it is all our tax money at the end of the day. I don't know. I'm really upset about that whole thing.
Agreed. Don't get me started on taxes, Frank. You're trying to push my button being so close to tax day. Don't get me started. Patrick on Facebook says, so we need someone that is willing to do it for all of humanity to preserve the human civilization. And I think unfortunately that's probably where we're at. And people don't want to give up their, you know, autonomy to do that, right? Freedom's a big thing, and it's not everywhere in the world, and giving up, you know, hate to say, okay, well, let's experiment on the people that aren't free. Oh boy, I just turned into Adolf Hitler, right? So I don't know. I just don't know. Like, I don't know if there's an easy, feasible answer here, unless it's done in secret, which is kind of what they're doing. Did I just advocate for secrecy, Frank? Shit. Yeah, I don't know.
That's an interesting thought. That's a really interesting thought, is what if these things are going on? What if they are increasing the intelligence of babies around there? And they know that the uneducated masses, the monkeys and sheep out there, they're going to quote their religion, quote their scripture, and say, we can't do this anymore, and protest the whole thing. But they know it's right. They know they have to do this, so they hide it all. They do it in secret, and then we get glimpses of it here and there, and we say, oh, there's a conspiracy. Oh, this is bad. But they know that they have to do it in secret, because if they don't, the public will shut them down. That's an interesting thought, that maybe some of these little groups out there, these secret societies and underground deep state governments, are doing these things for the benefit of humanity, because they know they have to do it behind the scenes. And if they don't, well, it'll all get shut down by the idiots out there, because there are some idiots out there.
That would qualify me, because I'm hesitant. But yeah, maybe that's the case. Maybe this stuff is going on. So people in chat are saying, yeah, that they're way ahead of what we're even seeing here. So that could be the case. Tamron says, Mike, there's so much evidence of time travel, though. Yeah, yes and no. I mean, if time travel was like that and it was widely available, I think it would be a lot more obvious. Let's say. Well, maybe not. Maybe they could censor the shit out of it. Yeah, you could be right. Again, don't listen to me. What do I know? Okay, let's see. All right, let's see. No. Okay, everything. Chat's caught up. If you guys want to get on the show, you know what to do. 702-957-1037. We got about 35-ish minutes left, Frank. You want to get into that last narrative there? The underground bit?
Let's go into crazy town. We always got to do this. There's crazy stuff out there. conspiracies happening everywhere in plain sight. Open up this imager of a flyer. What's this about? Let's go into Crazy Town here. Here's a flyer that was posted in someone's neighborhood in the UK. In August 2018, we discovered what we think is an illicit drug manufacturing running underneath our house. A woman can be heard screaming. These guys called the police, and the police ignored it. And so what these people did in their house is they dug some tunnels. They put microphones down the tunnels, and they started recording what's going on in tunnels, apparently, underneath their house. Machines are running. Women are screaming. 2 foreign men are talking, and there's flushing sounds and chemicals being released into the sewers. What is this about? Underneath someone's house in the UK. So what do you think about this before we move on?
This is crazy stuff. Yeah, this is crazy. So reading the little flyer here, in a lot of the sound recordings, a motorbike can be heard and sirens that sound like a police car. There are never any other traffic sounds, just the motorbike and the sirens. There's an old World War II SEAL bunker nearby and a 2.5-mile stretch of road underground running from the colliery. This is amazing so far. So women screaming, 2 foreign men talking. We got sirens and motorbikes. What's not to like? And then, of course, you report to the police, and what do you get? Nothing. You're crazy, right? You're the crazy ones. And so this is not a hoax. Please help. Look at that. These people, think about that. You have to take this seriously if you're going to go around town and put up flyers, right, for some sort of help, right? This is not, or it's a really good hoax, right? But it says on the paper this is not a hoax, so you know what I mean. It's not a hoax, but you get it, right? Like somebody has to be serious about this, or it has to be a pretty good hoax. So let's start there. But that's pretty good stuff. I like the motorbike and the police siren.
Yeah. So tunnels under the house, crazy smelling chemicals. Okay, open up the mirror.co.uk. A news story about this thing. Couple living above illegal drug factory plagued by noise of screaming women. So Christine and Alan Tate from Amaford, South Wales, claim their lives have been ruined by bizarre sounds, and they put up these posters. They're begging for help. The police don't take them seriously, so what are they going to do? So the couple, actually, they had to leave their house because this is so prevalent, and they're living in a van, but they still own the house. Screaming women, flushing noises. There's a tunnel underneath. And they took recordings. We'll get to those recordings in a bit. Police refused to take their claims seriously, so they took measures into their own hands and put up the recordings and sounds on a website for all to see. And they've put these posters everywhere. We're not mad, we're not crazy, we're just desperate, they say. So apparently they know there's a tunnel underneath because there's a military base nearby. They kind of dug little probing tunnels and put recording devices down them, so they've captured the audio of this happening. They sent the whole thing to the police, talked about it to their neighbors, and the police ignore them. Everyone thinks they're crazy. But I don't know. What do you think? There's women and children screaming, vehicles driving by, foreign men. Is this just schizophrenia, or is something going on, something complicit with the police because they refuse to help or refuse to investigate? I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, if there's evidence, I mean, so it's easy. Again, we've talked about this quite a bit. It's easy to write somebody off by calling them crazy, right? It's one of the oldest smears in the book. Like, oh, yeah, that, they've had medical problems, depression, they've been on this drug or that drug, or, you know what I mean? It's the oldest trick in the book to just say, yeah, they're nuts. These people are nuts. It's not really happening. But if they're recording these things and they have actual evidence, then holy shit, like what the hell's actually going on down there? Somebody said in chat, human trafficking. Maybe there's some kind of drug tunnel. Who knows what's going on? Like they hear machines running and police sirens even. Yeah. And then Sherry adds the police are in on it. Yeah, I don't know. This is pretty nutty. This is pretty nutty stuff. Tell me we have somewhere down the line, we have some audio of this, of the sound they recorded.
Of course we do.
Okay.
We'll listen to that in a bit.
Okay.
What would you do, though? I know what I would do in Minecraft. I would get some dynamite together in Minecraft and blast my way into this tunnel in Minecraft. Of course, I'm not advocating using dynamite in real life. I wouldn't ever do that. But yeah, I'd be digging down in this tunnel in no time. These people are way too passive for my taste. Get together your buddies. Get together your Nerf air guns, not real guns. We don't want to get in trouble. And go investigate what's going on down there. If the police aren't going to help you, you got to help yourself. That's the unfortunate state of the world. Don't ask for help. Solve the problem yourself. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes back to the heart of that, hashtag 2A Second Amendment. What you were talking about, you call for, it's well known if you call for the police, you wait 10 minutes, right? And if it's a life-threatening situation, wouldn't you rather just reach in the drawer? Well, we got the drawer. Let's reach in the drawer and grab the Glock, and there's a different story, right? It's the same sort of thing. You got to be able to help yourself. I think that's one of the basic human things about being a free person, is you should be able to help yourself. And if it's you live there, it's your property. Yeah, why not? I agree with you, Frank. Let's get in there. Let's find out what the hell's actually going on underneath, because you got evidence, that you're not crazy. It's one thing if you turn the recorder on, go with microphones all over the house, put them in a tunnel that you dug and these types of things, and you don't hear anything. But if you have actual audio evidence, man, no, you got to help yourself. You got to find out what the hell's going on. And be careful you don't run into a bunch of cartel members or something, because then your ass is grass and you need bigger guns. But yeah, definitely, I'm with you. I don't know about the dynamite, but let's round up the guys with the guns and maybe go check this out, because this could be frightening.
Sorry to interrupt. This would be the time of my life. I'd be going to the equipment store. I'd be buying pickaxes and shovels and buckets, and I'd be digging it out. I'd get some cameras, go down there, investigate this thing. Again, this is a tunnel underneath their house, and it's so they dug a 1.5 meter shaft to put some recording devices down it, and that's where they're getting these audio recordings we'll play in a bit. But this is like probably 10 feet, 20 feet under their house. Yeah, let's get down there. Let's find out what's in a tunnel under your house, and people are moving through it. They're making drugs. There's screaming women and children and vehicles driving by. How could they just sit there? Come on. I don't know. This excites me. This gets me going. I would love to dig down there and find out. If these people need help and you're listening to the show, buy me a plane ticket. I'll solve this problem for you in no time.
And make sure it's a place you can bring guns in. Some of those countries you can. I'm with you, Frank. Somebody needs to figure this out, because, it sounds horrific. People screaming. Wow. Yeah, let's see. Comments real quick. Let's see. Nope. Yep. Luke says, what's up? Luke says, there's a tunnel. Just go and investigate that. Yeah, exactly. So it looks like they dug just a small tunnel to get closer to the sounds. So there's no actual tunnel yet, but they'd have to do like an entire thing. And, there we go. Yeah, I agree. Let's do it, Frank. Let's do a crowdfund and just get over there. Oh boy. Let's not do that.
And we've said this many times, like the pyramids in Antarctica, go eyeball them, go look at them, go see what they are. These things coming out of East Teddy Ranch and that apparent hangar or bunker on top of the mountain. Go get some mountain climbing gear, go climb up there, go find out what it is. If any of this crazy stuff happened to where I was, I'd be trespassing left and right to get there and actually look at this stuff and figure it out. So, yeah. Get down there. Anyway, let's listen to some of this audio. What do you say about that? Yep. Open up this website. This is their website, noisesinmylane.co.uk. And let's check this out. Pretty crappy website. I guess these people aren't very affluent on the internet. But here we go. Back in June 2018, we were up late working and went to make coffee, but there was an odd noise coming from the empty house next door. It was around 2:30 in the morning. We went into the alleyway. We could hear machines running under the ground for around 10 minutes, and then a machine would pump something into the drain. We lifted the drain cover, and the fumes were very strong. Our eyes watered, and our noses started running instantly. We left the cover off and listened, and this machine would run every so often, then pump smelly liquid into the drain in 30-minute cycles over and over and over again. So they eventually closed the drain, called the police. They were not interested one bit. And then they went in their basement, started hearing noises too. So they dug this tunnel, a little shaft to put a recording device in, and hear some of these recordings. So let's play this. Let's go, I don't know, just click on one. So the machine can be heard beeping and flushing. Just pick some. They're all pretty good. Avoid the really long ones. There's one that's 9 minutes. Skip that one. But yeah, just click on some of these. Let's listen and let's see what they heard.
All right, let's check out some of these screams here. Let's go scream. Oh, they're on SoundCloud. Okay, whoa. Let's rewind this. So this is a scream coming from their recordings. Oops. And all right, I'm just gonna play it. And action.
So they put these things in short.
What'd you say? I couldn't hear you, Frank. People were screaming.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, they've clipped these things. Some of them are pretty quick, so it's not like a whole long recording. But yeah, just click through some of these. That's imagine hearing that from under your house. That scream. Yeah, so keep playing these.
All right, here we go. Play some more. Whoa, Nelly. Those aren't normal screams. That's not just a, hey, you left your purse over here. Come get it. No, holy shit. It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Okay, so they got tons of these files, guys. Tons of these actual recordings of these things. So there's some screams. Women screaming under the basement. And motorcycles running. And there's people on the SoundCloud there. They left comments and said street noise or whatever, but I think that would be easily debunked if you just, go around that area, turn on a recorder outside, and see if that's actually happening at 2:30 in the morning. But I'm not so sure that's the case. Not so sure. Okay, but
play this grinding noises one. Grinding noises, 19 seconds, and listen to that. That's pretty crazy to hear this.
All right, grinding noises. Here we go. Here's more. People hearing odd noises under their house. Women screaming. Motorcycles driving, police sirens. All right, here we go. And grinding noises action. Okay, it loops because SoundCloud sucks, but if you heard me, SoundCloud, I'm talking to you, you suck. Okay, yeah, I don't know. This is pretty crazy so far, right? Tons of noises. Again, so this is on the website, guys, if you want to check it out. I did link it, noisesinmylane.co.uk, and they have all these audio clips on the left side here, the women screaming and the noise and the grinding, and let's see what else is here. What else do we got?
Play this knocking noises taken at 4:23 a.m. So they're not doing construction at 4:23 a.m. There's policies against that. But what are these knocking noises coming from underneath our basement? 14 seconds. Let's play that.
Okay, which one is that? 14 seconds. All right, knocking noises. Here we go. And action. Okay, that sounds like somebody hammering, like actual handyman type work. Well, what the hell though? Yeah, this is nuts. So again, they put up a website and they're handing out flyers and they don't know what's going on. They've contacted the police. They can't get help. What the hell is this? What the hell is this? We got some comments here. Somebody agrees with Frank. Let's see. I'm with Frank on I'm with you, Frank, on investigating. What's up, Patrick? This is from Patrick. He says this time it's a 50-50 on trusting the government or those in power. In these times is what he wrote that I misread. And yeah, so what the hell is actually going on here? James adds, it's almost 1 a.m. and everyone is sleeping. This is creepy. Yeah, right? So then 2:30, 3 a.m., 4 a.m., they have different times here. Everything's going on that's crazy at night. And yeah, I don't know. Todd says normal kid screams. I don't know what kids you've been hanging out with, nor do I want to know. And then Tamara says sounds like children. Yeah, it does sound like children. Pretty crazy stuff.
Let's play a couple more of these. There's motorbike and siren noises. So 25 seconds, 1:10 in the morning.
Okay.
And again, this isn't on the street. This isn't coming out from outside, unless they're just making this entire thing up. This is coming from underneath their house. In the recording device, they've put down a shaft to kind of get closer to this tunnel. 25 seconds, siren noises.
Okay, so this is the little blurb before. It says, in a lot of the recordings, there are hundreds of hours of recordings. A motorbike can be heard together with sounds like the siren from a police car. There are never any other traffic noises, though, just a motorbike and a siren, and here's an example of that. Was that a dog barking? What the hell is going on there? That's pretty insane. That's pretty insane. So, okay.
This is some underground city kind of thing going on. Like, there's a whole complex down there. They got women down there. They're traveling from, I don't know, one place to the other. This is an underground civilization they've discovered. Who the hell knows what's happening? Oh, weird smelling chemicals. That part, that's weird. I love the police won't help, though. You know, go look. What are you doing? The police in the UK are such fucking stupid.
Don't get me started. Language. Don't get me started. You know, okay, there's a petition here. They actually have a petition up on their website that it says, "Please sign the petition to get our police to go investigate this because they're ignoring us." The guy puts his real name here, Van Fogey. This matter needs an urgent, full investigation. I started this petition because I've started in desperation. I sent the recordings everywhere I can think of. The original website was poor quality and the recordings were hard to hear, blah, 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 right? So he wants people to sign this damn petition. They're saying, investigate this. Something's going on here. We're getting these recordings from underneath our house, and they're ignoring us. So there you go. If you want to, we should all sign the petition. Let's sign the petition, guys. Yeah, you have the link. Yeah, let's sign it. Let's see if we can get these guys help, at least from 1,000 miles away or whatever, a million miles away type of thing. The internet's a wonderful place sometimes. So let's help them out. If they really need help, let's sign this petition. I'm going to do it. I hope Frank does it. I hope you guys do it. You have the link and just click on petition. But yeah, go ahead, Frank. I cut you off.
Yeah, this is crazy. Who knows what's going on down there? I would love to find out. These are the kind of mysteries. They're not UFOs. They're not aliens, sure. But these are the kind of mysteries that are so compelling, so interesting, that I can't help but want to investigate. You know, again, unless he's making the entire thing up and it's all a hoax, we got to find out what this is. We got to sign this petition. We got to get people investigating. I don't know. Think about that. Police are complicit in some kind of operation underground, maybe a military operation. They said it was a military bunker. So what the heck is going on? Like, this flabbergasts me. I need to know.
Yeah, Shadows of the Moon on YouTube, what's up, says sounded like a different language and like a drill in other parts. And I think those are just sounds coming through the ground. And Call Torchwood. I don't even know what that means, but I'll laugh. But I think the problem is, right, you're like, this is, again, weird if we're to believe everything these guys say, which, you know, they put up a website, a petition, they're just handing out flyers, trying to get some kind of help. They're reaching out for help. They were living in their motorhome, apparently, because they can't stand living in the house with all the noises. So if this is the case, then other people in the neighborhood would be complaining, right? If it was just some sort of noise, like maybe some sort of ground noise that was carrying through maybe a subway tunnel nearby or something, right? Like other people would be complaining about this. But if it's isolated, again, it makes it very, very suspicious about a ton of other things maybe happening here. So yeah, let's sign the petition, guys. May as well. It couldn't hurt, right? Okay, I got the link. I'm putting the link up again for the petition if you guys want to sign it. But all right, go ahead, Frank. I'm putting up the petition here.
So, well, wait a minute. That can't be. That's a unique thing, right? This one house, it just happens to be over a tunnel. There couldn't be another story that's almost exactly the same happening in Texas, could there?
No, of course not, because that would be, I don't know, odd. This one's odd, so if there's a second one, that would be odd as well. Are you trying to tell me there's something else going on, Frank?
There's something else going on here in our own country. Intellihub.com. I was shot in my own home from under the ground, claims Texas homeowner after discovering an underground tunnel. So this guy's in his house. He's living in Texas. And he's shot from underneath the ground, in the foot, I believe. And the police refused to investigate. He's getting for breaking into his house. Let's get into this one too. Could a hidden tunnel system really exist under this man's Texas home? So here we go. Let's look at this. This guy's Paul Webb, I believe. Buddy Webb, pardon me, is his name. And he bought this house. People were murdered in it previously. So the previous, I believe it was 3 or 4 owners had all died of very suspicious circumstances. He bought the house for the cheap, on the cheap, and he moved in. And he's living his life. He's having a good time. And he gets shot from underneath the ground. And it hit his foot. And if you scroll down in this article, you get some images, get some information. But he's not making it up because, yeah, so scroll down, you'll see the picture of his foot somewhere at the very bottom. There's x-rays, he has bone surgery and so on and so forth. Yeah, he was shot from underneath the ground. So what do you think about this so far?
This is a little bit crazy, shooting people from under the underground. Okay, so it looks like, now if you scroll, I'm going to link this website because this is amazing. If you scroll down, there are police reports. Look, the only known entry by police, actual police reports written, photographs, satellite images, 1 or 2 blocks away. There we go. X-rays of the actual, the gunshot. The heel bone is gone, but I hadn't had surgery yet. This is not my foot. Wait, that's not my foot? What the hell? Why are you putting x-rays on your foot? Not your foot now, you mean? I don't know. But anyway, here we go. So here's where the broken toe go. They faked my x-rays. Oh, okay, I see. He's saying there's... Oh, gross. All right. Yeah, sorry about that. You guys can check this out yourself if you want to see the graphic details, which you probably just peeped. But so this is up if you guys want to check it out and look at all the evidence yourself. But what the heck? What the heck is going on here? This is pretty nutty. This is pretty nutty. So tons of apparent evidence. They got photographs again, police reports. Right? Again, think of it this way, guys. Like if you want to hoax something, do you call the police and make a report to like add it as part of the thing? Invite them into your house to have a look and investigate? I'm not so sure that's like what somebody hoaxing would do, right? You kind of want to avoid like any real investigation. Yeah, I'm not sure what to think about this. Shot from underground.
Do you shoot yourself in the foot with looks like buckshot? No, you don't. You don't shoot yourself in the foot unless you're truly an insane person. Anyway, let's keep on going with the story. Scroll through some of these images. So this guy's like, "What the? I just got shot from underground. What the heck's going on?" And then it gets even crazier. So the police come initially, and then they never come again. They don't want to look into this. They don't want to investigate this. They kind of claim it's a hoax, and they tell the guy to stop calling. Leave us alone, the police said. So very similar to the UK, the same kind of story is the police seem to be complicit in this thing. They seem to know what's going on, and they don't want to investigate. But this guy starts looking at the evidence. He's got tunnels underground. He's showing the manhole covers, very similar to the UK. Again, manhole covers. Air tunnels, there's a pipe leading up, and he's mapping all this out on Google Maps, and it looks very legitimate to me. So crazy stuff starts happening to this guy after he starts talking about this on the internet, posting on Facebook. So let's play some of his videos because he's got videos of this stuff. So let's play Friday Night Alley Action and see what happens.
All right, let's do it.
Texas 3802 Fair Circle. It's April 21st, 2017. Bella was barking my dog, and I see the light come on in the alley, and so this is a little suspicious, and that's why I gonna take a little video, see, and then they stop, and that's right directly across from my window. Always concerning, I don't know if they're looky-loos or if they got a gun connected with the break-ins. Maybe it's some of the secret police that are worried they're going to be exposed for their crimes. We just don't know who it is. And so see, I didn't pause it. They stopped. Now they drove off. And so I look up front and see if they went up there. All right, I didn't see my front, but I did see their door come open. I'm going to put it in motion here. What's their door there? It's open right now. Actually, we're going to see it shut here in a second.
Okay, kill.
Yeah, but so people start showing up outside his house. And that's an alleyway right beside his house. It's not a roadway. It's not somewhere where people would stop. It's kind of a private access alleyway. And people keep pulling up. There's huge trucks that pull up and stop there. And this is right outside his window. And he's had break-ins and stuff all the time. So it looks like this guy's being surveilled, and he's kind of surveilling them back. I don't know. That's pretty weird, isn't it? He gets shot from underground. He discovers these tunnels. The police refuse to investigate. And all of a sudden, he's got people breaking into his house and then people stopping outside kind of looking at him. And you have to remember that 3 people before this guy died of very suspicious circumstances in that same house.
That's pretty frightening. Sorry, anyway, just reading some of the YouTube here. Okay, yeah. I did link the YouTube if you guys want to take a look. And he's got a whole channel here. Looks like he's got tons of stuff. Buddy Webb's the guy's name. And there's more, apparently. More, apparently. Which one next, Frank?
Let's open up Ambushed in My Home. Let's play this. This is surveillance. He was shot again, I believe. And you're probably thinking to yourself, no, he wasn't. Come on now. Watch this video.
Action. All right, so he buys a home in Midland, Texas in 2008. And this is what is happening. And somebody crawling out front of the house. What the heck is this?
Yeah, so this is from his camera. He was shot. And then he's crawling out because he can't get help. He called the police. Now, what's interesting, he says in here that in the video that there were people watching him as he was doing this. So there were people out there on the roadway watching him as he's crawling out trying to find help. But there you go. So is this person just completely insane, or is this real? I don't know.
Like I said, people are unpredictable, that's for sure. However, I mean, shooting yourself for some sort of attention or publicity stunt, I think that takes you to new levels. Definitely new levels. So yeah, I'm not sure on this one, but it does kind of line up with the other one if he's talking about maybe tunnels underneath and some other gang activity or drugs or what's going on. The other one could have been human trafficking. Dear Lord, I have no idea. This is crazy.
Now, if you keep playing this video, you'll see that after he drives off, the cops show up. Suspiciously, immediately after he gets in the car and goes for help, the cops are outside, kind of looking around the area.
Yeah, I see. Now it looks like headlights coming in from the back there. Yeah, what the heck? So this guy actually got shot in his house, crawled out, got into his vehicle, and drove away because he needed help because the cops wouldn't come. But here we go, right? There's the cops now. There's the cops showing up. Like we said, right? Like the response time on police officers are just never fast enough. And no dig on cops, right? There's only so many of them. They can only be in so many places at once. It's just, right? Like you got to be able to take care of yourselves. You got to be able to investigate yourselves. You got to be able to help yourself in this situation where you need help. And yeah. Here comes Midland, Texas's finest. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, okay. All right. So they did show up. The cops showed up. That's better than not showing up. So I'll give him that. I'll give him that. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is this guy nuts? Is this a straight crazy style, or is there something actually going on here? We got a couple corroborating stories at least that seem similar. They think something's happening underneath their house, and they just can't get help. And when help shows up, it's cursory, and nobody finds anything, and they move on. Luke says too much peyote. Rolf says that's sketchy, bros. Sherry says I see no blood. It was kind of crappy quality, to be honest. Like he could have been bleeding on the sidewalk. We couldn't have told from the video there. But you're right. I agree with you. Patrick says we need to make an investigative team that's willing to find the truth without connection to the government, a non-government unit. I'm just saying, FBI, CIA, NSA. You're all reading this. Ignore it. If you're reading this, ignore it. Of course they're reading this. Come on. Yeah. Please.
I was thinking of a crazy person investigative team. You know, you get a bunch of people. One's an archaeologist, one's an astronomer of some sort, another scientist, and then you got a detective. And these people, they get together and they go investigate crazy stuff like this and kind of post the results on the internet or, you know, just do stuff. But then you'd be arrested immediately, you know. You'd be a terrorist organization, I'm sure, instantly if you did something like that.
Well, I don't.
If the police don't help, what do you do?
Well, I don't see the harm because investigations typically, like police knock on doors, right? They get statements. They call and they talk to people. I don't see the harm in doing all that stuff if you have permission of the people you're calling and talk. You know what I mean? It's not like you're kicking in doors to like do investigations. You can do independent investigations without being draconian and police state style. So yeah, I kind of agree. That's a good point, Patrick. Maybe there needs to be more of these, and they do get smeared, right? They're named vigilante organizations, or just like Frank said, terrorists. Whatever. Well, if we have a situation where we have too many investigations that need to happen and not enough resources, doesn't that make sense? Maybe that's a business idea, hey? Maybe Maybe. I mean, you know, private investigators are what they are, but I think maybe an organization itself. Yeah, pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff.
Yeah, these are the things that definitely need to be looked into. Anyway, let's play a final clip from this guy. There's a ton of videos on his YouTube channel where he's documenting it. Some are kind of schizophrenic, but let's play burglar alarm going off. And he's in his house again. Normally, people are breaking in all the time, he says. There's people crawling through his attic. He hears noises, people under his ground. So a burglar alarm goes off in his house, and let's listen in.
All right, action.
Burglar alarm's going off here. Yeah, it's up here. I can hear it. The bathroom is what this is. Well, you only got about 20 seconds after it goes off, and it looks like I had the reverse view on the camera, so I'm running around trying to take pictures of the ceiling, looking at myself, but you heard it, and it was a real live burglar alarm. That's a criminal in my home. It's one of thousands and thousands and thousands of felonies have been allowed here. I just told somebody on YouTube that asked me, they said, was there any reason why you don't go look for the underground facility? I said, well, one reason is I'm crippled and defenseless, and they're secret police-protected murderers, okay? And once you've been laying on the ground with a bullet hole in you and find your phone lines cut, then you understand how dangerous these killers are. Or you find out they faked your x-rays and tried to cut off your leg, and then you see pictures of police and nobody identify them 5 years later with stealing evidence from your house, covering up a premeditated murder attempt, and then you're posting videos on Facebook of people trying to extort money from you. That's why I ain't going looking for an underground facility for these killers.
Okay. Holy smokes.
That was another detail I left out, is they wanted to amputate his entire leg, I believe. They wanted to just cut the damn thing off. You know, he's walking around fine now. I think he's a little bit crippled, he said, but they wanted to chop his entire leg off. And that seems a bit odd.
Yeah, a bit. That's a ton odd. Like, what the hell's going on with that? And he says they faked his x-rays. We saw some of that. You guys have his website if you want to check it out. That's so again, there's two stories talking about tunnels underground. And of course, this doesn't happen. Somebody said there in chat, James says, you never see this sort of thing in Florida? What's up, James? He says, too low to the sea level. I work as a copper wire splice excavator for a couple of years, and you hit water 2 to 4 feet down when digging. Long ago. There's some crazy news out of Florida, but apparently not underground tunnels. I think they get sinkholes though because of that, because of the low to the sea level. Yeah, pretty nutty stuff. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say other than there needs to be some other investigations, personal investigations. You know, like I said, people have to be able to help themselves in some way. Relying on the police just doesn't work. I mean, you know, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, right? You want to flip a coin when you're in super big amount of danger? Yeah, I'm not into flipping coins when it's a dangerous situation. So, whatevs. That's pretty crazy stuff. You guys have the links if you want to check that out. It's all in the chat there, and you have you have YouTube. You can follow Buddy. What was his name? Buddy. Let me see. It was a good name. Buddy Webb. Buddy Webb. Yeah. So check him out. He's got a channel on YouTube where he chronicles this stuff, talks about it, got all the evidence apparently. And again, right, like you don't go through all this. I guess maybe you would if you were like super attention seeking, right? Like maybe, but shoot yourself. Again, you're crossing some lines there, some crazy lines, right? And I don't mean crazy in a bad way. I mean maybe the guy needs help. So who knows? You know, like this is the type of thing. Check it out. See what you guys think. You have the links. I'm not sure what to think. Those are a little bit nutty, but there were more, right, Frank? Weren't there more that we didn't have time to get to?
Yeah, there's more. A whole host of stories about secret underground tunnels. We can open up this one real quick. WTOP.com. 200-foot tunnels under Bethesda's home, detailed in court documents. So some guy who was a Bitcoin millionaire, he started digging tunnels under his house. And who knows why? I think he was paranoid about North Korea missile attacks, is what they said here. And he was hiring people to help them, and then a fire broke out, and then they all died. So, yeah, people are building tunnels underground all the time. It seems like something crazy. It seems like something silly. It's actually happening. So, again, there's 3 stories for you today about underground tunnels what's going on? I need a tunnel. I kind of want to build a tunnel now. Wouldn't that be the best thing ever to have a tunnel under your house? I can see why they do it. Definitely. Nice place to hide away. I don't know. What's going on here?
Frank, in the normal world, tunnels under your house are called basements. that's how normal people do tunnels under their house. But yeah, I don't know. Again, I have no idea. I linked this one again if you guys want to check it out. But what the heck is going on here? Kind of some parallels, and I think the most disturbing was that first one. They got a whole website up. Okay, so again, think of it this way, guys. The first one has a whole website up. They've done audio recordings. They said hundreds of hours of audio recordings, and they clipped some of the small bite-sized pieces, so you can check it out on SoundCloud. The next guy has a full-on YouTube channel, and he's got evidence where he documents these things. And I don't know, right? Like that's not like the habit of somebody who's not experiencing something, right? Or feeling at least like convinced they're experiencing something. And the other guy's got evidence that he got shot. I mean, there's some stuff here. There's some compelling stuff worth looking at. So the first one, sign that petition. I'm going to put it back in the chat here because, right, if they got a petition up, why the hell not sign it? They want help from the police and they can't get help from the police. Let's help these people. Why the hell not? Let's help these people. But we're winding this down. If hold on, how much time we got? How much time we got, Frank? Where are we at?
I think we're near the end. That's the takeaway from this whole thing, though, is the police, they're not going to help you. They're not even obligated to help you. There was a famous story, I believe, in a New York subway where I believe a knife attacker, a guy who was attacking people with a knife, he was discovered on a train, on a subway car, and the police saw him. So what they did, the two policemen, they left the train car and they kind of sealed off between two train cars. They stood behind like a glass door and let this guy attack the passengers on the train. And I believe it was the man who was attacked tried to sue the police and all this kind of stuff. It got overturned because they have I don't remember his name, unfortunately. They have no obligation to help you. They have no obligation to put themselves in danger. They have no obligation to look for underground tunnels. They're just there to keep the peace, and that's it. So don't rely on the police to save you. They're not going to. It's kind of ridiculous. What are they? We wonder why we don't like the police nowadays. It's because of stuff like this. Look under that guy's house, or hire a contractor, or do something. Tell this guy what he can do. Coach him. Say maybe you should move, or something like that. Do something. Do anything. But they're just ignoring him. That's kind of ridiculous.
Okay, so do anything is the theme at the end here, because I did post there's also another petition for that first guy with the sounds from these women screaming and the vehicles and the sirens underneath the house. There's an actual petition on change.org where we can help this individual and his family and the whole family. So I've linked it. So if we can say we've never done anything fruitful on this whole show ever, let's sign that petition, guys. Let's get in there and let's help these people in any way we can, and this is the way we can right now. So let's sign it. Let's do it up. Let's get some names in there and let's get them help. If they need pressure, social pressure, let's do it. I'll put it up on the page too and see if we can get some additional people signing this. Because why the hell not, right? Why the hell not? What's it going to hurt? If they're faking it, they get some police presence, they get some media attention, and whatever, they're faking it. But if they really need help, they need help, right? So yeah, let's do it. Let's sign that petition. It's up. Give it we got Rolf on Discord again, so we can bring him in real quick. And let's see. James on Facebook says, I watched a 2,000 square foot house get engulfed by a sinkhole live on the local news a couple years ago. They started reporting live from it after a small sinkhole started in this guy's yard in St. Pete, Tampa area. Within an hour or two, the whole house was underground. It was bizarre and crazy to witness, but not supernatural. Yeah, that's nuts. That is nuts. That's pretty terrifying. That's Florida, hey? Remind me never to live there. Yeah, exactly. Tamara wants to know how they sleep at night. I have no idea. You got me. And yeah, all right. Let's get Rolf on real quick, and then we'll end this. You got to be quick though, buddy. All right, we're bringing you in.
Yeah, you got to unmute yourself. You're on the air. What's on your mind,
Rolf?
You'll have to unmute yourself in Discord.
All right, that's fine. We'll have to.
You can call back in another time. Yep. Anyway. There's the show. What did we talk about tonight? Assange, WikiLeaks, underground drug tunnels. Oh, there he goes. He unmuted himself. Okay, I'll bring you in right now. You're back on the air.
Yeah, I was hoping somebody would talk to me and they shoot the breeze, but nobody did. But can I give you guys a tip?
Let's hear it.
You got 30 seconds, brother.
All right. When you guys are doing a topic and there's people in Discord or on the phone or something, pull them in right away so they can comment on the topic. Now, my comment was underground shit. They're pretty deep, wouldn't you think?
I'm not sure if I should laugh. All right, fair enough. Thank you.
Right?
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
All right. I wasn't sure if you were being serious. I didn't want to laugh at you if you were being serious, but it was a good joke.
I'm being serious.
All right. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that, man. Moving you out. We'll catch up to you later. Thanks for participating on the show. All right, there we go. We're at the end. Go ahead and take this out, Frank, if you can hear me.
Yeah, all these topics we've covered today, I think there's one thing in common between them. There's no transparency anymore. There's absolutely no transparency. We don't know what's going on underneath us. We don't know what's going on above us. And we don't know what's going on in our government. We have no idea. All these stories have that in common. So that's what we're about, trying to uncover these mysteries, look into these details. And we got to do something, because this is getting ridiculous. The cover-ups, the secrecy. It's a sad state of the world.
There it is. And that's what we do here. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange. I'm here with your co-host, the magnificent Frank Pierce, and this is what we do. You'll see us Thursday night. You'll see us Sunday night. Watch YouTube. We're going to put some videos out as well. We're going to try and do some extra content. Check it out. If you haven't followed us on socials and done all the things you can to help us and you love the show, we'd appreciate it if you would. Go to troubledminds.org. Click all the things. Leave the comments. Tell your friends. You know what to do. This is a social world. Let's make this a social show. We appreciate everybody listening. And yeah, here we are. Lots of great feedback. Lots of great comments. People saying great show. Thanks, etc., etc. I'm not going to read it all because it'll go to my head. It'll go to Frank's head. I know him too well. We appreciate it. Thank you. We're not doing this if you guys aren't coming back. So if you keep coming back, we'll keep doing this. We appreciate it. And yeah, there we are. We'll see you on Thursday night. Watch YouTube. We're going to put up a video between now and then as well. So there we go. You guys are fantastic. From our troubled minds to yours, have a great night.